It was just a matter of time before I was found out. The apple may not have fallen far from the tree, but I was certainly no lawyer. A name, I had to give her a name, or the jig was up, something she could hang her hat on. It's Vice, Vice, baby. It's Vice, Vice, baby. It was just a matter of time before I was found out. The apple may not have fallen far from the tree, but I was certainly.
Hi, I overslept. How are you guys doing this morning? Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Yeah, at least I made it, right? At least I made it. Hello, Granny Smith. I love Maritime Mondays. I hope you continue with this. It's great to hear your dad and his vast knowledge. Well, yes, indeed. Yeah, yep. Good morning, I guess. Yeah, it's a good morning, I guess. Hello, soul. Sweet fly. Welcome. In honor, in honor of your dad when he was late, the Vice Squad would say, with love, late and gay. Well, I appreciate it. Ah, we all need to type shame when he starts. I overslept. Well, okay, so I woke up whenever I need to wake up. At 8:10, I fell back asleep and I woke up right when I did. So yeah. Hello, B Stone. How are ya? Denise, good morning. I pressed the button. What happened? Tracy, good morning. And Angela, hello, hello. How are ya? Flux, hello. Danielle, did you even go to sleep? Or like, did you stay, or have you stayed up since yesterday? Uh, you're grounded, young man. Progress check. Okay. Here's your progress check. Let me move this out of the way. Here's that. Mhm. Yeah. No sleep. Jeez. be stoned. I am jealous. I am jealous. But I cannot drink because I got work tonight. Oh. Yeah, so I. You're good though? Nice. Sweet. Thanks, people. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, so I literally jumped out of bed, hit the live, so I didn't even pull up the video yet. So give me un momento, por favor. Let me organize everything, move stuff around so I got space to do things. You can always tell us your tea of choice for the day. Tea choice of the day is nothing because I literally just jumped out of bed. I checked the time. I said, "Oh, fuck," and then I hit live, grabbed a random hat that I could. That's why I'm wearing a beanie. Grabbed my Lego, sat back down, and here I am. So no tea for me, just allergies. What's up, BGOG? Just go start your water. Okay, okay. I have to be back at work in 12 hours, so a couple before bed is great. Nice. Cinder block for tires. Hello. Does that mean you're still in your jammies? No, I just threw on a. I changed my shirt. Well, I guess I'm still wearing my pajama pants. Go. Okay, okay. I'll make me some. Let me leave you with some music. How about that? Da, 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 da. Okay, I have too many things on my table. My ship do not break. At least you didn't oversleep as much as I did the other day. Well, okay, Angela. There was a time when I overslept so much I had to reschedule. That was what, a few Saturdays ago? My ex said, not jammies, it's lounge pants. Gotcha. Haven't slept since. Jeez. You know what? I'll just leave the. Ow. Yeah, I got too many stuff. I'll be. I give up on finding music. I'll be right back. Yeah, Denise, that's not a good way to start your day. Hope your dog is okay. Tracy, I was hoping we could watch him on the kitchen. Well, I thought about it, but I said, you know what? No. I changed my mind. It was only 2 days ago. You haven't slept for 2 days? Jeez. Well, I hope you can get some sleep soon. And yes, everyone, I know my camera's off. Pants are prison, Swan Lake Lady, but not if you have windows and everything where people can see into my house. Then pants are kinda not so prison anymore. Oh, actually, while I'm waiting for my water to boil, I can just pull up the next video. He's back to normal? Good. Da, 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 da. Playlist. Maritime Monday. No, not you. I want. Stop. What's happening? Okay. Move you down here. Move you up here. Right there. Sweet. There. Making strawberry pie, so I'm listening mode. Be right back when done. Ooh, that sounds good. I've had to take medication to raise my heart rate, so it brings the ADHD insomnia back. I'm sorry to hear that, Angela. Hey, I am back. Hello. Oh, does your cat bother the Lego build? Nope, he knows better. It's okay. I'm alive, so okay, cool. So you've never had a bad day, then I take it. Oh, you're talking to Angela, not me. Oh. Today's a good day. That's good. Okay, so the tea of the day is Samurai Chai Plu. It has yerba mate tea, green rooibos tea, cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, orange, lemongrass, aniseed, mango pieces, natural spicy cinnamon flavor, natural almond flavor, pineapple pieces, and papaya flavor. So yeah, I noticed that it is a good tea to start the day. Last time I drank it, so there you go. That's what I'm drinking. Of course, and always brought to you by The Dragon's Treasure at thedragonstreasure.com. Not sponsored. No promo code. Enjoy the tea, coffee, soap, and or others. Yeah, there you go. There's a quick plug-in for the Tea Man. So, let's get started, shall we? We, blah, 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 blah. I was already late, so let's get this show going. And everyone, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you like what you see. If you've already subscribed, please make sure to check down at the bottom, see if you're still subscribed to me. Make sure that notification is on so you can get notifications if YouTube decides to send them whenever I go live. I appreciate you. Gotta try a Team and Apple tea. Danielle, go for it. Team NC is awesome. I need to try his coffees. But with that little announcement, let the games begin. Boop. There you go. And as you guys know, I will make this announcement every time. I will mute myself. I will welcome people as they come and go. And I will put in my little comments whenever I feel necessary. This is Live Reactions number 4 Ship Collisions, Skyway Bridge. Let's start. That was for you, Lisa. Good morning. Hello, hello. Do you add anything to your tea? I do not add anything to my tea. I think it is perfect the way it is, just like you guys. Uh, Soul, nope. You're not supposed to hear anything because guess what? My desktop audio was muted. Let's fix that real quick, shall we? Mm, Put that up there. Did Jeff be muted? Nope. I muted Jeff. Hello, Clucking Lomar. Welcome. You can't hear Jeff? Well, surprise, surprise. I muted him. Let's go back. Sure. Okay, so I'll be building my Lego endurance ship as we watch live reactions. Live reactions number 4. Ship collisions, Skyway Bridge. Let us begin, and hopefully all the audios are good. If the video is too loud, too quiet, please let me know and I will adjust accordingly. You boomered? Yeah, kinda. Yeah, Daniel, to the point, like I fix mustache like he does, and it's to the point of habit where when I trim my mustache, I still do it, not knowing that I don't have to. But anyway,
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be on this little planet of ours. It is 9 p.m. here in dark and hot and freaking humid South Korea. Yeah, that not wearing a hat. I just had my hat on during Legal Mindset stream a few minutes ago, and frankly, it was just too damn hot. Uh, the main reasons I wear a hat is to block this backlight from showing, and then to block this one over my head from giving me this nice little shiny spot. But hey, deal with it today because it is just hot and nasty here. All righty. It is, what day is it today? Today is Monday. I'm losing my damn mind. How is everybody? Catch up here. Oh, Soy Mafia Elaine is waiting to Uber Jeff in Utah in 2 weeks' time. That's what you were saying over there on Legal Mindset stream. Couldn't figure it out. Have I done the internet historian's take on Costa Concordia yet? No, I have not. I'll be talking about the case at some point. We will get there. Patrick, long time no see. It's been all about 10 minutes. Well, hopefully we'll be disconnecting from reality, but fair.
hello Debbie, welcome, welcome. Love the blast from the past? Well, I love that you joined. You did just wake up, so Boomer is acceptable. Thank you, I appreciate it. We got best of both worlds here, Connor and Jeff. Oh, you stop it.
Warning: today's story is a bit grim. It involves massive loss of life in a ship collision accident. That's what we do here on Monday. We kind of screw around. I mainly do maritime law and corporate law. So we kind of do something a little different on Mondays. We review ship collisions. We talk about shipping cases, things like that. And today we're going to be talking about one specific case, called the Sunshine Skyway Bridge collapse case. But we'll also, depending on how quick we get through it, we might watch a couple other videos of shipping accidents like we normally do. So this isn't everybody's thing. I get that. I mean, shipping accidents and things, that's not everybody's deal, but that's just a little day where we sit here to have fun and relax and just kind of do something that not everyone else is doing. And people seem to like it, so we're going to keep on doing it. For those of you that are new here, and for those of you that are longtime viewers but still haven't done so, please do not forget to like the video. Please do not forget to subscribe to the video. If you have not already done so, who wants to be a hero today? That's what you have to ask yourself. You have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I a hero today? If you have not subscribed, please do. I have 21,997 subscribers. 3 more to hit 22,000. Who is it going to be? Who are the 3 non-subscribed people that are going to step forward and push me up over the 22,000 mark? Ask yourself, is today the day you're going to be a hero? If it is, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to slap that bell end so you get notified every time I put something up. I am doing quite well. We had a very, very alcohol-fueled Friday night. And then I had a very, very alcohol-fueled Saturday morning with my time in, early Saturday afternoon with Nick Ricada over at Ricada Law on his stream. And then I had a very alcohol-fueled Friday.
Good morning, Just ACN. Hello, Tomby. Welcome, welcome. Glad you could make it. Howdy to you.
Saturday night, as a group of my friends threw me one of my birthday parties. and then Sunday was kind of spent in a coma. So today we've got the Johnny Depp Mega Pint Legal Vices Pimp Daddy Cup filled with the second round of vodka tonics for the night. And that's kind of we're going to be taking a little bit easy. Still in recovery from our festive weekend. And for those of you that are from the United States, happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July. And for those of you that are in the United Kingdom, deal with it. Just kidding. But it is the 4th of July. It is the U.S. Independence Day today. So I've got my Mount Rushmore shirt on.
Zombie, I'm doing great. How are you doing? And Tamara, it's okay you're late, because guess what? I was late too. But welcome, welcome. Enjoy watching me play, not play, but build Lego while watching Maritime Monday.
And one back of house item.
Living the dream is awesome. Living the dream is beautiful.
Earlier on Nick's stream earlier today on his locals, someone can't for the life of me remember who said that I owed them a shot from a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember what shot I owed them, but I promised I would do it today. So we've got the official 4th of July titties shot glass out here and a shot of Colonel E.H. Taylor single barrel bottled in bond. Fantastic, fantastic bourbon. An absolute amazing bourbon. And because this is effing expensive and effing delicious, to whomever I owe this shot to, I am going to sip this gently and enjoy the flavors. But this is what I owed somebody apparently. And if someone tells me I owe them a shot, I'm probably going to believe them. That's good. And if you hear heavy breathing and or snoring, the dogs are in the room with me tonight. So we've got the dogs going. They haven't seen me all day, and I had to do a bunch of stuff, and so they wanted to be near me. They wanted to brave the heat here in this room, where the air conditioner doesn't reach. Well, alrighty then. That I think that takes care of most of the people, most of the background stuff, and I think we can just kind of get right into it today. Where are we all here from? You want to give a shout out to your hometown? Please feel free. And a special shout out to the mods. The mods always do a fantastic job. They are always deeply, deeply appreciated for everything they do to keep my show looking less crappy than it actually is. All righty. Got lots of US things. Mixed shots today? No. We are not mixing shots. We're not doing shots. We're not even. We're nursing this one small this one small glass of titty whiskey. We've got our titty whiskey going, and then I'll just slowly nurse the vodka tonic as we go tonight. Still in recovery mode. Oh, here we go. Kicking things off. Eve Barlow's Rotten Crotch. Thank you so much. 4th of July just reminds us of the UK of our lucky escape. Happy Independence Day. And sketch, there we go. The other starter offer, Setch Dresgar, thank you so much for your donation. While not your area of law, I would highly recommend looking into the Acrethorne David Stebbins situation on his DMCA abuse and vexatious litigation. He is, after a friend of mine, he is a lol cow. This is a lol cow I have not heard of. I will just have to head on over to Kiwi Farms after this is over and see what we can find out about him. Thank you so much. Always in the mood for a new lol cow. I only have a few lol cows in my
Good time zone to you too, Alan. Glad you could make it, sir.
my on my radar. I mean, I was a huge opponent of DSP. If you know DSP gaming, way before anybody else. But we're talking 10 years ago. Me and my brother were making fun of him, and we still are. And boogie for a while, but then it just sort of became pathetic. So now, not really a whole bunch of people. So always looking for a new new lol cow to make fun of and give me a little bit of positive feeling that there are people out there that I'm better than. So, all righty. Happy July 4th. Happy Maritime Accident Day. And for those of you that are wondering, tomorrow is my birthday. I know most of you probably know that by now, but yeah, tomorrow is my birthday, July 5th. We're going to be doing just a fun stream again. Just talking about, well, this all stemmed from the drink-a-thon that we had last Friday. I had about 12 articles I wanted to get through because you guys pumped me so hard and so fast full of whiskey and vodka and rum and well we had scotch, bourbon, Irish, vodka, rum, rye, and I think that was uh oh, we had Norwegian whiskey as well. So so yeah, it pretty much pumped me full of booze and alcohol real quick, real fast, and I only got to about 2 of the 12 articles I wanted to do. So we'll talk about some of those tomorrow. We'll also do some other fun stuff, I guess. Just kind of keep it chill. There's a few fun things that I want to do tomorrow night, just for birthday shits and giggles. Now I really do think that's all we have to get out of the way before we get going. Just trying to think through my senior moments. Yep. Okay. That is it. Let us bring up our first. This is a newsreel. This is a news story because the 40th anniversary of this was just a couple of weeks ago, and this was a news story from the area regarding the 40th anniversary of this shipping accident. And then we'll go back and we'll watch a about a 25-minute video of the accident. Let's see here. Share that screen. 42nd anniversary. Sorry. I said 40th anniversary.
Trust. It's something you have to earn. Since 1977, Tri-County has worked hard.
We don't get to make this bigger, unfortunately.
And with your family. And remember,
no matter what the weather, Tri-County makes it better.
Boop.
Right now, 42 years ago, here's a video that is just in our minds forever. May 9th, 1980. For many of us here on the Suncoast, a day we will never forget. In a fierce, blinding rainstorm, a barge rammed, look at the black and white there, right into the Skyway Bridge. In the end, 35 people would lose their lives, literally, Rebecca, literally falling into the bay.
Absolutely tragic. And this tragedy becoming one of the darkest days in Suncoast history, still all these years later, impacting people today. ABC 7 Summer Smith is joining us now in the studio to share some of the memories.
At the end of Tug's stream, he replied to my chat and explained Tug's tits. It's at the end of the stream, last 45 minutes. If you want to rewatch, it was near the beginning of the super chats. Yeah, I heard it. So I guess it is true. The legends are true.
Memories that some of you are sharing with us, Summer.
That's right, Rebecca. It was one of those days many people here will remember exactly where they were and watching it unfold on television. Once the barge hit the pylons on the bridge, the lanes just fell into the bay. It was the Summit Venture heading into the port of Tampa Bay when a sudden storm rolled in. The area in thick fog, parts of the southbound span came tumbling down. Several cars and a Greyhound.
Didn't even see your comment right there, Denise. Connor, when is your birthday? It is November 18th. That is my birthday. I wouldn't lie to you. Well, I appreciate it. But yeah, November 18th is my birthday. Good old Scorpio.
Bus didn't have enough time to stop, and in the end, 35 people would lose their lives that day, including 25 people who were on board a Greyhound bus that plunged into the water. Some of you are weighing in from those memories from that day. John Coyle recalling in his post, my mom was part of a group of 7 cars that were near the top of the other span when the hit occurred. They all saw lights going off on the bridge through the pouring rain. And Sarah Randall posting, I was a child watching the news, and it was very scary on this morning. 3 people were lucky to live that day. The trio in a car dangling from the bridge. Definitely a day that we will never forget. Reporting live from the studio, Summer Smith, ABC 7, your local station.
Wow. So yeah, that's the brief overview of this for the 42nd anniversary. That was about 2 months ago. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Tars the Bolt. Okay, so Alan, on Saturday, if you show up, we shall say happy birthday to you too, sir. If not, I'll send you a message.
We'll just have to get through. This is a pretty deep thing here. And this video that we're going to review does a very good summary of the situation and how it all went down, the factors that led up to it. I think it's very comprehensive and very succinct. That's why I like this video. I watched a couple of things about it, and this was a big one to share. So let's pull this up and get a little bit more into the story. And here we go. Share that. Maximize the screen. Make sure we have the closed captions on because everybody tells me to do that and I always forget.
And I forgot to turn on my closed captions, so thanks for the reminder, Dad.
But now, before we get going again, this is just a thing we do on Mondays. We don't always talk about maritime casualties all the time. Just one day a week, and then we usually show some funny videos. And if you have any particular maritime disaster that you're familiar with or want to hear about, please drop it in an email to thelegalvices@gmail.com or send me a message on Twitter at thelegalvices at Twitter. And we are two subscriptions away from 22,000. So 2 of you, step up your game. 2 of you that haven't subscribed, reach down there, hit that subscribe button, and let me accomplish my goal for the day. And with the grift having been out of the way, let's pull up this. Okay, let's make the video bigger here. We'll do this so the video is as big as it's going to get. And let's start.
All stations, this is United States Coast Guard, St. Petersburg, Florida. The vessel Summit Venture, 606 foot, has hit the Skyway Bridge. Any vessels in Tampa Bay area, Skyway vicinity, proceed and assist. There are reports of people in the water.
Can you imagine? Can you just imagine that? You happen to be on the bridge when a boat hits it. Now we did the video about the drunk Russian captain that steered his boat into the bridge, his big ship into the bridge just outside my window. But that was an extremely slow speed collision. Did not do much damage to the bridge at all. Nobody was injured. That was more funny than it was serious. But yeah, and this is sort of a recreation of what the weather was like, and the weather played a factor in everything, in the shipping accident itself, and how it happened, in the loss of life. And thank you everybody. We have just hit 22,001 subscribers. Bless you all. You are so awesome. I love all of you. And again, so the weather figures into everything, the loss of life. the recovery efforts, the response, how it all went down, and it's a pretty grim story. Well, so okay, I have to do this right here.
This morning, nope, that's not what it says. This is making me think of the history we all lived through. It may not make an impact upon us at the time. Very true. It's also Clumsy Clairvoyant's birthday on Sat. Who's Clumsy Clairvoyant? It was a bonk. Hello, Gelda Lily. Welcome, welcome. This is one of the things I really liked about Jeff. He wasn't constantly grifting for money like a few streamers I used to go around. Fuck me, Andy from Popcorn Planet even grifted for his kids' Christmas. Huh. Interesting.
School field trip activity, and the capsizing killed, I think it was 436.
Well, she's a streamer. Yeah, no, I never heard of Clumsy Clairvoyant. Send me a link and then I'll check out her channel, please, and thank you.
High school students. Yeah, I mean it's the biggest disaster basically in Korean history, other than like the Korean War. I will not be talking about that, just for one very specific and very serious reason. Nothing good can come from me talking about it. It's sacred ground here in Korea. You just don't do commentary on things like that. You know, you don't. It's just kind of an off limits topic. I mean, I think it's been 6 years and it's still incredibly sensitive. So if anybody wants to go learn about the Sewol Ferry accident, it's Sewol, I think it's how they spell it in English. Feel free to do your own research. But yeah, that would make me absolutely zero friends here in Korea if I as a foreigner were to do something critical of anything to do with that situation here in Korea. So yeah, that is the one off limit.
Here's another fun fact. It is still a sensitive matter to talk about in 2025. So, if anyone by chance had even a thought of asking me to cover the Sewol Ferry, I will say thank you, but no thank you. Because yeah, it was like around 400 plus high school students that lost their lives in a very unfortunate incident. Thank you, Alan. I'll check it out.
Topics basically for me is the Sewol Ferry accident. Sorry, with that out of the way, let's jump back in. I hope you all understand that if you were wondering when I was going to be doing the Sewol Ferry disaster, but unfortunately, it's just not going to happen.
Department of Coast Guard St. Petersburg. I'm dropping income bars and we'll be headed for the bridge to assist. So take your progress. OS 51. Coast Guard St. Petersburg. Roger, have the name of your vessel again, please. Over. The Tug Dixie Progress. The Tug Dixie Progress. Dixie Progress, Coast Guard St. Petersburg. Roger, please advise me when you're on scene and the number of people you pick up out of the water. On Adventure, Coast Guard St. Petersburg. Did either span of the Skyway go down into the water? Over. Westbound, one down, westbound.
An entire section of the bridge collapsed. Ugh. Yeah, this is the immortal. I can't. Where's the?
Spanning the lower
Anyway.
Tampa Bay from the city of St. Petersburg on the north end to the small community of Terracea on the south-southeast end, the original Sunshine Skyway Bridge was a massive undertaking. The only way to cross in this area at the time, for decades, was the B-Line ferry service which ran between St. Petersburg and Bradenton. Starting in the late 1920s as a two-ship ferry service, the passage became an icon in the area, and while remembered fondly, it was utilized in more of a tourism or getaway capacity. rather than a main artery for commerce, and was eventually deemed inadequate for the quickly growing lower Tampa Bay area. It was widely agreed upon a better solution was needed. As an avid user of NordVPN, whether traveling abroad or right here at home, it's been so crucial for many of my online needs. I was genuinely excited that they wanted to sponsor today's video. When performing online research,
Yeah,
in
well,
one example, educational
skip through their ad. I don't get anything out of it.
Can be critical to encrypting your items. To nordvpn.com/brick-and-mortar and get a massive money-back guarantee. At a cost of $22 million US, the 2-lane, 4.5-mile long cantilever and trestle Sunshine Skyway would open in September of 1954 to much fanfare. The project was divided into 5 main sections, though, and while the portion of bridge over the bay and main ship channel was itself roughly 4.5 miles long and received much of the glory, the entire undertaking would be some 15 miles long, as the roads and infrastructure leading up to the bridge across the intracoastal waterways had to be built up as well, all part of the main project, technically 11 total miles of which being over water, bridging multiple smaller channels in the process. The idea itself originally sparking a fair bit of controversy, but not so much in rendering the ferry service obsolete, more importantly and ironically, in placing such a large, complex structure directly across the path of a frequented large ship channel, the entrance to Florida's crucial Tampa Bay. Sunken reinforced concrete piers would comprise the substructure, and Structure A would be a double-leaf bascule or drawbridge style span to allow smaller vessels passage through the channel near Cow and Calf Key. Structure B, a steel span 17.5 feet in height for small boat passage. Structures D and E, each steel truss spans. But the main section, known as Structure C, was a through truss cantilever span 864 feet in length, with steel truss approaches each at 5% gradients. 5% gradients don't sound very steep on paper, but in person, it was imposing.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing. We have a bridge like this here in Busan that when you're driving up on it, it literally looks like it goes straight up. I mean, you know, it's a very gradual climb, but it creates this optical illusion that just makes this thing look like it just goes straight up into the sky. But there's a few things here that I think come into play with this bridge, and I mean, one, it's the age, and it was completed in the 50s. The technology of the 50s isn't the technology that they had in the 80s or the technology they have now. So it's built on some older bridge technology,
and also quite narrow. While the span was 864 feet in length, the ship channel would only be 400 feet wide.
Now that's important too. The main part where all of the main commercial ships are going is very.
I'm starving. My mom's preparing food for my dad to bring up to my work. Best mom on planet. I'm her special little soldier. Well, I'm jealous. Because I need food too.
You know, it's not that wide. It's not that wide at all.
While the span was 864 feet in length, the ship channel would only be 400 feet wide.
400 feet. And if you've been watching the past few weeks, we've been talking about ships that are much longer than that. You know, it's you can get these ships that are just enormous, and then when they pass side by side going through the channels, when you're looking at these things that are, you know, just huge wide vessels, and then it's passing next to another huge wide vessel, or even when it's alone, that doesn't give them a whole lot of room, because these things don't turn like cars. If you want to turn a ship, it can take up to 30 minutes or more to do a complete circle. I mean, they're just huge, massive, slow things that are drifting along with inertia and current in one direction. So if you have to turn sharp to get out of the way of a bridge, it ain't going to happen.
As this was the width the channel deep enough for large vessels could be maintained without compromising the main bridge piers. At the time, 2 lanes and 2-way traffic on this single bridge not only seemed intimidating for motorists, especially with the steel see-through graded metal deck,
Yeah, it wasn't asphalt. It was a grated steel deck that you could see all the way down. No thanks, I wouldn't be on that. Yeah.
Popularity was overwhelming the bridge.
Slug, cheese flavored spam sounds disgusting. How's it going, Dix Ray? Miss your father? Well, we all miss him. But sit back, enjoy while watching Maritime Monday as I build the Lego Endurance. Glad you're here.
Just capacity. And by 1971, a second identical portion had been constructed right alongside, running parallel to the original bridge, and traffic would then be split, with the west side carrying southbound traffic and east side northbound. The Skyway had actually been in that single bridge configuration for over 15 years by the time it was expanded, so many photographs and postcards from the time featured just the one original side. Launched in 1976, the Summit Venture was laid down or built by Oshima Shipbuilding Company out of Nagasaki, Japan.
So this is the ship they're talking about. So it was what 1976. It was built in Japan, operated by Hercules carriers out of Monrovia, Liberia. It was a bulk carrier, and the bulk carriers tend to ride lower down in the water, and they're a lot heavier usually especially if they're full, and so it gives them a little bit more of a lower profile in the water.
Originally owned and operated by Hercules carriers out of Monrovia, Liberia, the vessel would be of Liberia license. With a length of 609 feet and a width or beam of 85 feet.
So again, we'll say it's about 100 feet wide, just a nice round number. And it's passing under a part of the bridge that's only 400 feet wide. So there's only about 150 feet, or what about, what are we going to say? 40 something meters on either side of the ship to do any maneuvering. So it's relatively tight going under that particular section of the bridge.
The Summit Venture was a massive bulk carrier with a total or dead weight of 33,912 tons. Bulk carriers of this type contain huge tanks or holds.
Now, the one thing he didn't mention, I don't know if they're going to do it again, I can't remember, but you'll see the length of this thing is 609 feet, 185 meters. Again, the width of that area where the ship passes under is only 400 feet wide. So if this ship goes sideways, it still has, it's 200 feet too long to go through this place sideways. And if you come in at an angle, you have to go straight in there to have a hope of having safe passage under there. If this thing gets turned sideways when it goes under this bridge, it ain't going to make it.
Sunken into the ship's superstructure, designed to carry both dry goods like grains, coals, cement, and other powder-like substances during the late 1970s.
Cocaine.
With a crew of primarily Chinese and Taiwanese descent. The Summit Venture would see routes take it from Japan to Korea, the Gulf of Mexico, through the Panama Canal, and more. It was a vessel considered well-traveled, with a crew of much seafaring experience. On Friday morning, May 9th, 1980, the Summit Venture was waiting in the anchorage just outside Tampa Bay.
And so what they'll do is if the port is full or too crowded, they'll just have the ships drop anchor and wait outside the outer port or outside the port limits until it's their turn to go in. And then they'll have their berthing schedule, and then they'll go in according to their schedule to berth at the proper berth. Or if they're waiting to pick up a load, like in this case, a load of phosphate, if they're waiting to pick up a load and the load's not ready yet, then they'll wait out until the whatever it is they're going to load shows up at the port. And so there is a lot of time where you're just waiting there, sitting, waiting to go into the port. And that's how we started this particular day.
Ready to pick up a load of phosphate for Mitsubishi International, destined for Korea. Navigating into the bay, though, was and still is a tremendously difficult task that just can't be overstated. Earlier that same year, January 28, 1980, the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Blackthorn and much larger tanker MV Capricorn collided in the middle of the night, just to the west of the bridge near the intersection of Cut A and Mullet Key channels. Due to navigational errors on behalf of both parties, This caused the immediate capsizing of the Coast Guard cutter and loss of over 20 servicemen.
Okay, let's back up just a bit to the. Yeah, so as you showed you, they have these. They have this key here, and this is the pilot station. That's where the pilot. We saw the video a couple of weeks ago. If you saw it, where the pilot tried to get on in bad weather, and he went up. The ship came up higher and crushed his leg, and left him there trying to climb the rope with a shattered leg. This is the place where they get on the ship, and then you have to navigate around this key here, and you damn it, you have to make this turn. This is the channel. This is like the highway of the sea. These are where the entering and exiting ships go along this path, the sea routes, the fairways they'll call them. So they have to come along this this route here, and if they keep going straight along this line, boom, they hit the bridge. So they have to come around here. They have to make this turn in here, turn to port that way, and then make another slight turn to port to make it through this rather narrow gap. I mean, they were saying it was 15 miles long, over 20 kilometers long, the entire bridge. But the only place these ships can go is this little tiny 400 foot, basically 120 meter space that they get to go through. And so that's what it's interesting. There was an accident here that occurred just a few months before this accident we're talking about today.
And Mullet Key channels. Due to navigational errors on behalf of both parties, this caused the immediate capsizing of the Coast Guard cutter and loss of over 20 servicemen. February 5th, 1980, the 600-foot bulk carrier MV Thalassini Mana struck the southbound or western side of the bridge on its way into Tampa Bay, fortunately with no loss.
So there we go. Another accident where it hit the bridge but didn't do any damage to it. I mean, what that should tell you how difficult this is. There was an accident just outside in the same year, in the same month, in February, and this time it was a 600-foot carrier.
Southbound or western side of the bridge on its way into Tampa Bay, fortunately with no loss of life, and only caused a temporary closure of the bridge for minor repairs. February 16th, 1980, the 700-foot bulk carrier MV Joanna Ban of Liberian registry struck a southbound bridge pier on its way into Tampa Bay.
Are you seeing a pattern here? This is how ridiculously dangerous this bridge was at the time. You've got a January accident that kills 20 people from the Coast Guard. The 5th of February, you have a 600-foot vessel hitting one of the bridge structures, and then literally 15 days later, 11 days later, there's another accident where an even larger ship, a 700-foot vessel, strikes the southwest support of the bridge.
Again, with no injuries, fortunately, but it was said this collision was severe enough to knock several large chunks of concrete from the pier it impacted. The pilot at the controls in this instance, a name to keep in mind, John Larrow. After 3 days in the offshore anchorage, waiting for loading information on their cargo to be picked up at Rockport Terminal in Tampa Bay.
Okay, that's what I was saying. They were waiting out there for their cargo to arrive so that they can go pick up the cargo. So they're out of the anchor waiting.
On May 9th, 1980, it was finally time to get a move on, and Captain Liu Shuing Chu would order the Summit Venture's anchor raised in preparation to pick up their pilot and enter the bay. Pilots are highly experienced mariners stationed at their respective harbor or port, hired, and in some case required, to come aboard a large vessel, take the helm, and navigate them into or out of the waters of a specific port, bay, or channel safely.
Now, these pilots, by and large, are incredibly experienced mariners, and they're incredibly well paid for their jobs. Kitty Cat, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Independence Day, Captain Jello Beard. Yeah, we may have had a little bit of Jello in the beard when I was doing Jello shots on Friday. But yeah, these pilots, like for example, in Korea anyway, to become a pilot, you have to have, I believe it's at least a decade, at least 10 years as the captain of a vessel. And there's a bunch of other qualifications and training stuff that you have to go through. And these guys can make up to $100,000 a year. I mean, they are very well paid for what they do. And that is their whole job, is to take a ship from the pilot station to the pier, or from the pier back to the pilot station. And before and after the pilot station, then it's up to the captain. He gets them to the pilot station. The pilot takes them in. Another pilot takes them out to the pilot station. Then he gets off, and the captain of the vessel, continues along their way. Yeah, this is there's a whole lot of things here. Well, Rose, you're telling the whole story. You've been watching you tell the whole story. Let it unfold together. That's the mystery here. Spoilers. Okay. Just kidding, but yeah, let's see it unfold here.
Each pilot will typically be more familiar with that particular stretch of water, its nuances, navigational aids, and traffic, and thus shipmasters and captains oftentimes defer completely to their judgment. Stationed at the pilot house on Egmont Key, the Summit Ventures assigned pilot.
Well, actually, it's a delicate relationship between the pilot of a ship and the captain of the ship. It's delicate in the sense that the pilot is, for all intents and purposes, in charge of navigating your ship. But as the captain of that ship, anything that goes wrong is essentially your fault, because it's your ship. And almost universally, pilots will have these cards, either pilot cards that have the terms of the pilotage, that when they get on the ship, the captain, we call them masters. If I say master, I mean captain. The master of the vessel will sign this pilot card. And one of the terms of the pilot cards is that the pilot is not responsible for anything that goes wrong while he's in charge of the vessel, unless it was an intentional act by the pilot or it was grossly negligent. And grossly negligent isn't just negligence. It has to be such an egregious action that it almost is the same as an intentional act. So if basically the pilot card says that if we're going through and we hit another ship, if I'm piloting this vessel and we hit a ship and it was my fault, I don't have any liability for it. The ship owners will have the liability for it. They basically sign away almost all of their liability for an accident. So that's a huge thing. That is a huge area of contention, when the pilot makes a huge fuck up, and he should be liable. And in any other normal relationship, he would be found liable. Because you have this pilot card that's signed, that you waive these rights, the pilot gets to basically walk away without liability. I mean, he may have some sort of administrative punishment from the Coast Guard or whoever licenses the ships there. But yeah, and we're dealing with a couple of cases right now where we really wish we could get around this pilot clause, but they're pretty much set in stone. They're pretty much accepted all around the entire world. And what if I don't want to sign that? Well, then you don't get a pilot on your ship. And a lot of places have mandatory pilotage, where you're required by law to have a pilot your vessel. And if you don't sign the waiver, the pilot doesn't pilot your ship, and you don't get to go into port. So yeah, when the narrator here says that they will rely heavily on the pilot's instructions, or whatever the word was, the master of the vessel is required to follow the pilot's instructions until the master determines that something the pilot is doing essentially creates a safety risk or risk of collision or some other danger to the ship or the people on it. And then, even if he knows nothing about the port, even if the master has no knowledge of this port, it's his first time going into this port, he still has the duty to take control of his vessel and prevent his vessel from doing damage or causing accidents. it's a really interesting legal tightrope to walk. For me, anyway, it may be boring as fuck to all, all of you people, but it's fascinating to me that you have to follow the instructions of someone who's not liable for an accident unless you think that there is going to be an accident, and then you're still responsible even if you can't avoid the accident that he caused. Back to pilot John Larrow.
John Larrow would approach the vessel and come aboard at about 0620.
By the way, to remember John Larrow, he said to remember the name. John Larrow, the pilot in this case, was also the pilot that was on board this ship that rammed into the bridge in February of that year. So the same pilot that was involved in an earlier accident is now the same pilot that's on board this vessel.
Accompanied by pilot in training Bruce R. Atkins. Still early in the AM, the morning's light was slowly creeping in, and the weather was overcast with a slight fog. But not all bad, as the ship got underway via the Mullet Key Channel toward the Cut A channel. About 2 hours prior to boarding, the pilot had assessed the weather report and determined visibility was roughly 2 to 3 miles by his calculations. Again, not the greatest, but well enough to get on with morning duties. The Summit Venture made contact with the outbound vessel MV Good Sailor, passing each other to their port sides, and they would also contact the tugboat Dixie Progress, laden with the heavy barge, who agreed to allow the Summit Venture to overtake and enter the channel first. The pilot in training, still in command, ordered full ahead of the Venture's engines, approximately 11 nautical miles per hour. By 0721, with the rain increasing and vessel nearing the Cut A channel, the pilot John Larrow took over from trainee Atkins.
Okay, let's jump this back about 10 seconds here. Let's say we have this barge coming up here. And this is a crossing situation. And it's interesting because if you're looking at the collision regulations, if you have a ship on your right side, if you have a ship on your starboard side, you have to stay out of the way of the ship that's on your right side. So in this situation, in this crossing type situation, the vessel here, the one that's going to hit the bridge, has a duty to stay out of the way of this barge. However, if you communicate with each other by radio, you can agree to a different set of things. Just as this is just a regulation that is basically in place unless you have reached some other agreement with the ship. So these two ships agreed to let the vessel go first, and the barge would hang around and wait. Let's see if we can move this out of the way a little bit here. Oh, I guess not. All right.
A vessel nearing the Cut A channel, the pilot John Larrow took over from trainee Atkins. Passing between buoys 15 and 16 now, a sudden burst of rain and wind caused them to lose visual on the...
Okay, and this indicates by the trainee pilot being taken over by the allegedly more experienced pilot, says that the more experienced pilot, this John Larrow, knew that the situation was getting bad, and it had now the weather or whatever had deteriorated to the point where it was no longer safe to leave the trainee in charge. So he takes over.
Between buoys 15 and 16 now, a sudden burst of rain and wind caused them to lose visual on the next buoys 1A and 2A, but crucially, they still had them on radar.
Yeah, and as you're going in, they have these buoys, these lighted buoys with green and red lights to tell you where you are in the whole grand scheme of things and to keep you between the two of them. But the weather got so bad they couldn't see them. And they said they could still see the buoys on the radar, but if any of you have ever seen a ship's radar, you know that it's really hard to see things on the radar, like small floating buoys and whatnot, because they just look like waves. It's very hard to pick them out. So basically, they're now navigating towards this bridge blind.
Immediately, the squall began to increase in intensity, and at less than a quarter mile from the buoys, they suddenly disappeared from the radar screen as well. Buoys 1A and especially 2A being crucial navigation aids for inbound vessels making the 18-degree turn between Cut A and Mullet Key channels. Then the combination of 1A, 2A, and 3A, 4A, creating a guideline indicating whether a ship is properly in the 400-foot wide channel and on course to pass under the skyway.
You want to stay between the red and the green. That's your highway. Those are the shoulders of the highway. Don't go to the right of the green and don't to the red and don't go to the left of the green if you're going into port.
Lero had also reduced the engines to half a head, approximately 9.5 nautical miles per hour, and already set a course compensating for what were the current southwest wind speeds. But when the rains picked up and wiped the buoys off the radar, so did the winds dramatically to near hurricane force. They were in the middle of what every sailor dreads, a sudden, violent microburst.
Now, this is also a thing that is when you hear about ship accidents and things, and you ask them what the visibility was, how far ahead can you see? The answer a lot of times is literally visibility is zero. You can't see at all in front of you. I mean, literally, you can't see a few meters in front of you in some conditions, and fog and rain and high winds. But a huge amount of cases, even if you can see a little bit in front of you, again, these ships are 400, 500, 600, 700 feet long, 1, 2, 300 meters long they can be. Even if you can see in the bridge, in the control room, you can't see the end of your own ship. And so they'll often put watchmen out on the end of the ship trying to see something out into the fog, out into the shitty weather. And if they see something, they have basically time to radio back and say, we see something, and you may not have a chance to get rid of it. Swan Lake Lady is if captains can request certain pilots. I would assume that every port has different rules. In Korea, for the most part, they put them on a rotation schedule, and just when the guy's number comes up, the guy's number comes up. I don't know why, or I don't know if or why not. Why you wouldn't be able to request a certain pilot if you were in a certain place and you really liked the guy, maybe. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of visibility, and when they say zero visibility, they definitely mean zero visibility. You can't see the end of your ship. You can't see more than a few meters off to either side, if that much. And then you're in a hurricane force winds with driving rain and fog. You're fucked.
Losing vision.
That is a very good point, Alan. You think with all the tech nowadays, they would put cameras on the front of these ships? True, but also with as useful as that may be, with weather conditions like fog or super heavy rain, where it's kind of like your car headlight, right? With under the heavy weather, even with your little headlights, you can't see in front. I think that will be kind of similar case to the cameras, where it's so foggy, like such a thick fog that you can't even see in front. But also, if the weather is clear, camera in front of the ships would be very useful. Night vision development, you would see. And plus, people cost too much. Don't worry about it. That may be the mindset of some companies as well. But you know what? Good idea to have cameras in front of the ships.
Visual and radar return to the buoys, even with a lookout now on the starboard side,
Yeah, see, they had the
looking
lookouts.
closely for 2A on Lero's orders. The pilot told the ship's master to make anchors ready for dropping in case the need arises for more stopping power.
And that's what we showed the video last time, where the ship was coming straight into the pier, and then at the last second they dropped their anchor, which I should have said they should have dropped their anchor a hell of a long time before they did. But that's what he's saying that the pilot in this case was doing. He's saying, get ready to drop the anchors in case there's an emergency and we have to try to stop. Because if you're just relying on inertia to slow down this, I mean, it takes a lot of time to slow down. It was a 34,000 ton vessel that's moving at a pretty good rate of speed through the water. You can't just put the brakes on. You have to literally reverse the engines and use the reverse. I don't want to get too geeky here, but basically you have to use the reverse force to slow it down, bring it to a stop, and then start moving backwards again. So a lot of times dropping the anchor is is like one of the last things you can do to try to stop the ship more quickly than it normally would.
The lookout suddenly reported to have seen the buoy off the starboard bow, but with no details of distance or angle. Laro used.
Yes, and that's a very bad thing. Again, if you're going into the port, you should be between the red buoy and the green buoy. If you see the red buoy off the left side, off the port side of your vessel, you're off the high.
This was in the 1980s, but also speaking of like these days, with the maritime accidents that happen these days, I think a camera could help a little bit. And like Denise said, salt water could also cause damage to the camera, but there are equipments that can prevent salt water from contacting the camera. So it is a good idea to have a camera.
Highway. You are in the oceanic, the maritime weeds. You are not where you need to be.
Seen the buoy off the starboard bow, but with no details of distance or angle. Laro used this brief sighting to assume the buoy was 50 feet or less from the bow, and decided to make his turn and to cut A accordingly. At 0731, turning to the heading Laro thought had them in the channel and on course, he ordered engines slowed even more to slow ahead maneuvering speeds.
Okay, this is a common mistake. We'll call it a mistake in this case. Is you're supposed to be, let's go back. You're supposed to be on this course here. You're supposed to come here, turn 18 degrees to the port, and go this way. But you make the mistake and go out of the line. You're outside of the lines. You're no longer coloring inside the lines in your little coloring book. You have to adjust course. So he would say, okay, we're off course. We need to turn 18 degrees. You turn 18 degrees, and all you're doing is continuing this way. So to be out of the lines and then make an 18-degree turn, that ain't where you need to be. When you come out, you have to overcorrect to get back. You have to go far more than 18 degrees to get back into this lane. And it sounds to me, again, I don't know the details. It was a billion years ago, but it sounds like they saw the buoy, said, okay, we need to, that's the turn point. We need to turn 18 degrees. And so they turned 18 degrees, which did not put them in a clearance to get under this bridge. And bad stuff is about to happen.
At 0731, turning to the heading Laro thought had them in the channel and on course, he ordered engines slowed even more to slow ahead maneuvering speeds, approximately 6 nautical miles per hour. When the portion of bridge above Pier 2S finally came into view, roughly one ship length ahead of them,
600 feet ahead of this, they see the bridge. That sounds like a hell of a long way. But again, it was one car length away from your car smashing into a bridge. If you think of it in those terms, the ship was 600 feet. They were about 600 feet from the bridge. So imagine you're in your 20 feet, you're in your car driving down the road, and suddenly a wall shows up one car length away from you. There's no way you're stopping before you hit it. None. You can just see how far you can slow down.
it was too late. Laro immediately rang full astern to the engine room, meaning full power in reverse, and ordered hard to port, let go both anchors. The port anchor was...
So they dropped the anchors. That's the deal. So hard to port, I mean, you turn the wheel to as far as port as possible. So you turn left and drop the anchors. Now he's doing this. That is the very last thing you do before an accident. You go hard to port or hard to starboard, drop anchors, and reverse engines. And that is literally the only thing you can do. And then you just have to wait for physics to sort it out. Once you've done those things, there is literally nothing you can do. And whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And that's why I've said the past several times that ship accidents happen in remarkably slow motion. So pretty much, you know, minutes in advance that you're going to hit something, and you can just get ready for the impact.
In reverse, and ordered hard to port, let go both anchors.
So it really depends on like the length, the weight, and all that factor of a ship to to turn and also to slow. It can take miles and miles until it actually stops or slow down just enough that it can start reversing. So yeah, I would not be able to be a captain of a ship because of all those calculations that are needed to do one small adjustment.
The port anchor was quickly released and began dragging right away in the shallow water, helping to slow the vessel slightly, but otherwise, a ship of this size with momentum can't stop within such a short distance, and at 0734, the Summit Venture rammed into Pier 2S hard, destroying it and collapsing the deck it supported down onto the ship's bow.
Ugh.
Still continuing with its forward momentum, the massive vessel didn't come to a complete stop until it scraped amidships on what was left of Pier 2S, with the bow of the ship now protruding under the untouched eastern portion of the bridge. When the pier was destroyed, this caused the entire main west cantilever span to fall into the water near instantly. It was early a.m. and traffic was, quote, lighter than usual on the bridge.
So can you imagine you're in a ship and you hit this bridge and an entire damn section of the bridge falls onto your ship?
Also, can you imagine you're driving on that bridge and on the next moment you're pretty much underwater and or on the ship?
That would be a huge wake up call to have this gigantic section of bridge fall on you. And then, as they're saying, there's still people on the bridge. They said, thank God. And it said probably due to the weather that the traffic was less than usual. So this horrific weather they were having probably saved a lot of lives.
Instantly. It was early a.m. and traffic was, quote, lighter than usual on the bridge at this time. The only reason traffic was a bit sparse at time of collapse. 8 vehicles total were either on or quickly approaching the span when it happened.
I mean that freaks me out that there was people on that stretch when it just dropped. I mean, you would, the rest of your life would literally be long enough to say, what the fuck? And then you're dead. That's it. If you're on that span as it drops away.
Happened. A Greyhound bus loaded with passengers, along with 6 passenger cars, were destroyed immediately in the 150-foot fall.
That's a long fall. That's like 30 meters, 35 meters, 33 meters, somewhere around there. No, it'd be a little more than that, wouldn't it? 150 feet. Yeah, it'd be about 40, 45 meters. I can't do math. I can't do conversions. I think in feet or meters, I don't convert them well. But yeah, it's a big drop. You're talking 40 meters at least. 40, 43 meters, somewhere around there. Boom. That's it. That's the rest of your damn life. You're on a bus going to meet somebody somewhere, and that's it. Lights out. Done. You've got just enough time to wonder what the fuck, and then you're dead.
The equivalent of falling from or driving off a roughly 14-story building.
There you go.
All destroyed via impact with the water or crushed from above by other falling vehicles or debris. The one motorist to survive the fall, Wesley McIntyre, was in a small pickup directly above the port bow as the deck portion he occupied collapsed. The pickup bouncing off the ship, landing in the water, sinking 40 feet to the bottom almost instantly.
Damn. Let's look at that
The
again.
pickup bouncing off the ship.
That's a picture of the incident there. So you fall, and that's probably why he lived, because the ship is pretty high out of the water. Even though it's a bulk carrier and they tend to ride low in the water, it's still higher than the water.
Hello, Blueberry. It's 2 a.m. I'm trying to sleep. I'm just dropping by to say hi and leaving this running. Falling asleep and listening to Jeff reminds me of the good old days. Well, I'm glad you're here. Glad you could make it. And if you do fall asleep, I hope you have a good night.
Water. So he falls when this span of bridge collapses and lands on the ship, falls off the ship in his car, in his truck, and sinks to the bottom 40 feet below, 33, 34 meters. Nah, not meters. Sorry, 10 or 12, I guess it'd be what, about 12, 15 meters to the bottom. And so he's stuck there in his car. He's fallen off a goddamn bridge. Well, the bridge just dropped out from under him. He falls all the way thinking, holy shit, I'm going to die. He smashes into this vessel, and he thinks, oh, well, shit, I'm probably really hurt, but at least I'm alive. And then he bounces off and goes to the bottom of the river, bottom of the ocean. That would be horrific.
Landing in the water, sinking 40 feet to the bottom almost instantly. This ricochet against the ship's structure slowed the truck's overall descent and is thought to have impacted the water with less force than the other vehicles. Its overall descent.
How'd you like to be this guy? How'd you like to be that guy looking over at this, thinking, holy shit, I stopped.
And is thought to have impacted the water with less force than the other vehicles. McIntyre thought to have impacted the.
See, because it was waiting to take on its cargo, it was riding really, really super high. If it had been full, if the ship had been full of cargo, this line here would be the line that was in the water, and only this little bit would be above the water. But I mean, geez, look at that. The bridge is just right there on top of the ship. And one of our mods, Rose, that's where she was from. She remembers this.
Water with less force than the other vehicles. McIntyre, unconscious after initial impact, awoke at the bottom of the channel with water pouring into the small cab of the compact pickup. He was, however, former U.S. Navy, and despite being 40 years removed from that part of his life, his survival training kicked in. He took the biggest breath he could and forced his way out of the cab.
There you go. His 40-year previously Navy training saved him.
Swimming up alongside the vessel, feeling as though he may not make it all 40 feet up, he suddenly burst to the surface and was rescued by the Venture's crew, who had been actively trying to find survivors. Pulled up by a rescue ladder, they immediately threw down to him.
God, look at
Several
that.
other vehicles had narrowly escaped driving over the edge. Through the wind, rain, and poor visibility, one motorist, Donald Albritton, in his 1977 Chevy Nova, heading southbound, saw the unthinkable. Taillights ahead streaking downward, and as the bridge began to shake, he stepped on the brakes and slowed way down. Doral, thank you so much for the super sticker. Always deeply, deeply appreciated. Oh, can you imagine being there? And as they said, just you see suddenly all of the tail lights in front of you are no longer in front of you. The tail lights just go, woof, and the bridge starts to shake. Ooh. No, the ship did not sink. I don't know how many crew were on board, but I don't believe anyone on board the ship died or was seriously injured. I can't remember. But I mean, this is just like all of
all of the things that could possibly go wrong in your day would be happening right here. I mean, that's, sorry, we read that already.
Suddenly, he witnessed the superstructure twist and roll and plummet right before his eyes. Recognizing the danger, he stopped and began reversing slowly back down the uphill approach, waving his left arm wildly out the window to flag down the oncoming cars that he could clearly see heading his way.
Again, so for those of you that are just getting here or getting here recently, this is an accident that took place in 1980 in Tampa, Florida, when a ship came and collided with this bridge, causing it to collapse, causing a huge section of the bridge to just drop into the water. And this guy here, he saw what happened. He's backing down, trying to be waving his arm out the window, trying to get people to stop. And they're probably just thinking, if they see him through in the bad weather, they're probably going, "What the fuck is your problem, you crazy son of a bitch? Well, you're going the wrong way on the bridge." And they didn't follow him. Patrick Kennedy, thank you so much, brother. All of this stuff sucks. Don't get me wrong, but please do not be afraid to live your life. Shit like this, when it's your time is up. You know, it's just a gamble. I mean, the odds are ridiculous that a bridge you're happy to be driving on in the middle of a hurricane force storm is just going to drop out from under you is probably as close to zero as you can possibly get. But it can happen. I completely agree with you, Patrick. Thank you so much for that super chat. Do not be afraid to live your life.
No avail. Roughly 3 cars zoomed past him in the left lane and then a Greyhound bus shortly behind them. By the NTSB's calculations, this was roughly 2 to 2.5 minutes after the collapse, more than enough time to have stopped if they'd been aware of the dangers ahead. The tug Dixie Progress was the first of multiple vessels to arrive on scene, followed by tug Bradenton, both searching and attempting to assist. However, there were no survivors to be found. No one on board the Venture was injured, and McIntyre, the pickup driver that survived the fall, was the only victim to escape with injuries. In total, 35 souls were lost, all of which in the vehicles that plummeted due to collapse.
Yeah, so no one on the ship was killed. It was all from people that were on the bridge or when it collapsed or drove off the edge of the bridge after it had collapsed. And Natalie McClendon says it wasn't really a hurricane. Yeah, it wasn't a hurricane. It was near hurricane force winds with rain and fog. I mean, it wasn't a named hurricane.
Well, my wife's cousin has a terrible fear of bridges. Any trip she goes on, she researches where all the bridges are on her route, and if she can, she will avoid them all. Jeez. Well, so if she can't avoid the bridges, then she just doesn't go on that trip. Is that how it goes?
The people on the ship, the pilot, the guy that survived. I mean, that'll give that they have a lot to think about.
It just cannot be overstated how deeply tragic this collapse was, especially in the local area. And with such trauma to the community, obviously comes a desire for justice. Initial findings by the NTSB.
And for those of you that don't know, the NTSB is it's the National Transportation Safety Board. They're the ones that investigate ship accidents, airplane crashes, things like that.
Would put pilot John Larrow firmly in the crosshairs, with the pilot trainee and Captain Liu in supporting roles. The NTSB stating, the pilot's decision to attempt to navigate the Summit Venture through the channel and under the Sunshine Skyway Bridge after visual and radar navigational references were lost, 0.2 nautical miles west of buoy 2A, was not a reasonable and prudent decision.
Okay, that's an important finding. And this goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier. So they're saying, essentially the gist here of saying the pilot's decision to attempt to navigate the Summit Venture through the channel and under the Sunshine Skyway Bridge after visual and radar navigational references were lost 0.2 nautical miles west of buoy 2A was not a reasonable and prudent decision. They're basically saying in this that if you lose sight of your navigational buoys and you have zero visibility or near zero visibility, stop. Don't continue to try to find the right hole into the bridge to go through. So they're saying, by saying it was not a reasonable and prudent decision, they're saying the pilot was negligent. The pilot was negligent in continuing to try to sail and navigate through the channel under the bridge, even though he literally had no idea where he was.
The Coast Guard echoed this sentiment and added, "The master of the Summit venture, Captain Liu, did not fully exercise his responsibilities for the safe conduct of his vessel, in that he expressed no concerns to the pilot when he did, in fact, have misgivings during the transit through Mullet Key Channel."
And again, this goes back to what we were saying. The pilot may have zero experience going under this bridge, and he's got to listen to the pilot. He's got to follow the pilot's instructions. But if the pilot feels at some point, if the captain of the vessel feels at some point that something's not right, that there's a risk of collision, or if he even believes there might be a possibility of a risk of collision or other accident, he then has an affirmative duty to step in and say, and override the pilot and say, we're stopped. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. No, that's not what's going to happen. We're going to wait for the weather to clear up. We're going to wait for visibility. So yeah, the NTSB said the pilot intercoursed up, the pilot screwed up and was negligent in relation to the accident. He was negligent for going, but also the master of the vessel, the Summit Venture, he was also negligent in not taking over and not doing anything to countermand the pilot's activities, because after he felt that there was a concern about the safe passage of the vessel. So just because you say, okay, just because you give your car to a driver and sit in the back seat, you can't just say, all right, whatever my driver wants to do. Not in a ship. In a ship, even though you're basically sitting in the back seat and you've turned the keys over to your driver, if the driver is doing some shit, you need to tell him to stop doing that shit. And it's a huge judgment call, because you have the pilot who's not very familiar with the ins and outs of this channel, and he literally he's trusting the lives of himself and his crew and the vessel and the cargo to this guy who just got on board the ship. So at what point do you go, okay, this guy who knows this, do I override this guy who knows more about this place than I do? At what point do you feel like you have the obligation to step in and take over from a guy who that's his job, is to take ships right where you are? It's a huge judgment call, and it ends up being a problem for everybody involved at some point.
The NTSB also took issue with the National Weather Service regarding the sudden storm surge and its subsequent lack of warning that crossed the Summit Venture's path coming from its stern, making it even more difficult for a pilot to detect when wind is pushing a vessel off course if it's coming from an angle behind the vessel. The NTSB stated, National Weather Service weather forecasts pertinent to the time and place of the accident were substantially in error.
Again, now this is blaming the weatherman because his prediction about the weather was wrong. I don't know if I like this one personally. I mean, their forecasts, they're not certain. They're not weather decrees. They're weather forecasts. We believe the weather is going to do this. The fact that weather changes and wasn't correct, it was substantially in error. Can you really hold the weatherman liable for that?
Perhaps most crucial to this accident was the lack of bridge pier protection.
Now, this is interesting. This is a very, very good point. This is what I was talking about before, about this bridge was built with 1950s technology and resources and design techniques in mind, not the 1980s, not where we'd got. So they made substantial revisions to the area around the bridge.
With vessels of this size passing so nearby to such exposed support structures, flimsy by comparison to these massive ships, it's almost a matter of not if, but when one will be struck. And the older Sunshine Skyway had no pure protection from impacts of this magnitude.
So what they're saying here is that you'll notice these pylons here, these supports for the bridge, are completely open. The bridge is less structurally sound and less structurally firm than a 40,000 ton vessel that plows into it at a good rate of speed. So they realized, oh, maybe it's not a good thing just to let ships be able to plow into the bridge. James Andrew Morrison says the pilot had eyes in his head, didn't he? Yeah. Didn't mean to close that. Yeah. The problem, again, as we just mentioned, was visibility was almost non-existent at that point. They didn't see the bridge until it was one ship length, 600 feet in front of them, and the radar, the buoys, the navigational buoys in the radar were no longer displaying. They lost visual with the buoys. They had them on radar, but they lost them on radar and were actually completely blind for all intents and purposes. That's when the NTSB was saying the pilot should not have tried to take it through this span of bridge. They should not have tried to go through this channel, which implies they should have stopped, waited for the weather to clear up, waited for better conditions, waited until they could safely navigate this.
Whatsoever. While there was a small crash wall on Pier 2S, as with other piers on the Skyway, this was merely for protection from much smaller vessels, and the Summit Venture wasn't even fazed by it, pouring nearly all of its inertia into the puny dual pier columns themselves with its 60-foot-high bow bulwark, common on large vessels. The NTSB also made a strong case for a real-time bridge-out warning system for bridges of this type, like lights or lit signs that signal drivers to stop in an instance like the Skyway collapse. The steep climb, frequent conditions of low visibility, or even just night driving can leave motorists with little to no warning of the spans ahead being, well, non-existent.
Yeah. I don't know how many of you watch, car black box videos. That's one thing that I've been thinking about. Wondering if I should do some black box videos, because there's whole Instagram things and whole YouTube channels designated for Korean car black box incidences, because virtually every car here has a black box camera in it. And so you get all these accidents recorded on screen. And so the ones that freak me the hell out are the ones that happen at night, where they're just driving down the road with the lights on, but then some idiot that's drunk and wearing black clothes on a dark country road at night suddenly appears in front of the car. I mean, can you imagine that the same thing happens to you, but you're driving and then suddenly there is no bridge there? Yeah, they're dash cams. We call them black boxes here in Korea. That's a very good Konglish point. We call them black boxes. Patrick Kennedy, thank you again, brother, for this donation. Deeply, deeply appreciated. That phrase bothers me. If not, but when? On what metric? Accidents don't need to happen, but they do. That's why we have safety protocols. That's why we have drills. Sometimes a freak accident happens, but Stabby McStab, my mind makes different associations when you're talking about black boxes. I'm going to assume you mean airplanes. I'm going to assume you mean airplanes.
It was a collapse that such ill-timed circumstances out of nowhere created a situation many felt there was no way out of in such a large vessel with that much momentum. The impact of being center stage for most of the blame for pilot John Larrow is a story in and of itself. It's not a story of seeking sympathy or one that even takes away from the trauma the victims' families dealt with due to this tragedy. It's a story of a man consumed with guilt regardless of any official findings.
Yeah, can you imagine being the pilot, knowing that you just made one bad judgment, what you had one small error in judgment that ended up costing the lives of 35 people and damaging a bridge and damaging a vessel.
In these stories on the collapse series, we don't often delve into the guilt felt by those accused of being responsible because, well, most of the time we're dealing with many heartless individuals. That wasn't John Larrow, though, and despite being exonerated officially in the end, after attempting to return to piloting, he was diagnosed roughly a year later with multiple sclerosis and consumed with grief. Much of John's days after were spent at his alma mater, living in a small cabin aboard the anchored TS or training ship Empire State, teaching at New York's Maritime College, attempting to make as much difference as he could in upcoming mariners.
Yeah, so the rest of his career is spent trying to teach others how to be better sailors. They mentioned he was officially exonerated. I don't really know what that means. If he was completely absolved of any wrongdoing by the NTSB or whatever association evaluates him, and he was given zero administrative punishments, I don't know if it just means that he wasn't found civilly liable for anything or criminally liable for anything. But still, that would live with you forever. Andrew Brunton says it's called a dash cam, my bro. I know. Again, as I said, it's just we call them black boxes in Korea. I've been in Korea since before they had dash cam, so they've always been black boxes to me, and that's just what we say here. So, Konglish.
The NTSB being only a fact-finding agency and the Coast Guard unable to impose restrictions on his license meant he didn't see legal repercussions. The state of Florida allowing him to remain certified, but despite this, MS had made sure his body no longer allowed him to continue his piloting career anyway.
Mm-hmm.
In Larrow's exoneration, James B. King, chairman of the NTSB, also added in a contradictory follow-up statement on their main accident report. After a careful review of the events that day, I don't feel we can hold the pilot responsible to the degree implied in the majority's probable cause. The pilot recognized that there was an element of risk associated with each available navigational alternative, and felt that the least risk maneuver was to attempt to navigate through the channel and under the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. There was no bright line for decision making. He acted reasonably in the situation in which he found himself. For more on this part especially, I'd recommend the book Skyway, The True Story of Tampa Bay's Signature Bridge and the Man Who Brought It Down.
That'd be a rough that would be a rough title to be associated with, and The Man Who Brought It Down. So yes, I mean, basically, the way they're using exonerated here means they just couldn't do anything about it. And the Coast Guard, as I said, made the contradictory finding and then the secondary finding. The first one said it wasn't reasonable, and the second one, I mean, it says that it was not unreasonable under the circumstances. And that's the thing. I mean,
Lisa, my favorite Judge Simpson case was when him and the attorney helped the guy with the drinking problem, which the message no longer exists. But Judge Simpson's, uh, he can be funny a lot, but serious when he needs to be, just like any other judges. I enjoy watching Judge Simpson.
every choice we make has consequences. Every choice we make has risks. Is it a reasonable risk? Do you have a reasonable belief that trying to do something is the right way? Do you have a reasonable belief that trying to do something is the wrong way to do it? Did he have a reasonable belief that his best option under the circumstances prevailing at that instant he made the decision was to try to go into the bridge? They said no, then they said yes. So there we are.
By Bill DeYoung. The western section spanning the bay would slowly be demolished shortly thereafter, while the undamaged east span would be changed to two-way traffic and reopened. However,
So can you see the changes here? I know they're gonna talk about them here in just a second, but you can see the changes. There's them dismantling the shitty part of the bridge that they've decided no longer needs to be up, and the new bridge they're building. You can see several structural changes here. Higher, you've got a much larger area here in the channel to go through, and they'll talk about these little doohickeys here. They'll talk about.
Hello, Layla. Welcome, welcome. Glad you could make it. We're just watching some Maritime Monday videos while I build Lego. So sit back, relax, grab a drink or snack, whatever you have, and enjoy the show.
These little pylons here in just a second.
it was reported that when pulled, nearly half of locals indicated they were no longer willing to venture out onto its decks. It would be used in this configuration due in large part to the crucial role it played in the bay's economy, especially in keeping the channel open to shipping, until the new bridge opened in April of 1987, a massive undertaking in itself. The new concrete box girder cable-stayed bridge, designed ironically in part by Fig Group, with a main span of now 1,200 feet in length, 180 feet above the waterline. This would allow larger clearances for the ship channel, widening it up to 50%. Although with the ever-increasing size of large vessels these days, many exceed the height of 180 feet already. Most importantly, though, the new bridge would be completely surrounded by protective piers known as dolphins.
Okay, so see now this is something that just no one thought of doing in the 50s. Apparently, was having these dolphins here, where if a ship comes in and smashes into the bridge, it's not going to get to the bridge. It's going to plow into these little pylons sticking up out of the water first. It's such a simple thing. It's such a simple way to reduce accidents, but for whatever reason, in the course of human history, nobody had thought of it at that point.
The old bridge was subsequently closed, and demolition was an extremely meticulous process, taking care not to obstruct the ship channel. Only roughly 2 miles of bridge over the bay would be removed, however, the remaining approaches repurposed into the now hugely popular Skyway fishing piers with a bait shop on each end. After repairs, the Summit Venture continued carrying cargo under Liberian license until 1993, when it would be purchased by the company Sailor Maritime Limited out of Malta in the Mediterranean, renamed to Sailor. Then renamed again to KS Harmony in 2004 when it was purchased by Singapore Group Frontier SG. In 2008, the vessel would be purchased by Xiansheng International of Singapore and renamed to Jianmao 9. Its final name, as the ship was lost in 2010 when it sank for unknown reasons, possibly rough weather causing it to take on water, off the coast of Vietnam in the South China Sea, no loss of life being reported. The Tug Dixie Progress went on to be purchased by Allied Transportation of Virginia and was renamed Heron. The name it keeps to this day, even while it now serves Runner Marine Limited out of Lagos, Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
A memorial was dedicated in May of 2015, located at the north end of the main Skyway Bridge, just 200 feet from the Cutter Blackthorns Memorial.
And there we go. That be the end of it. Well, that was our first investigation into a single instance of a ship accident. Up to this point, we've just watched the videos of ship collisions and ship accidents and sinkings and whatnot. I mean, again, this is just not something that we do every day. It's not everybody's little cup of tea, and it probably bores the shit out of a lot of you. But it's just kind of something fun that I have my personal area of expertise in. Yeah, I'm not a trial lawyer. I don't, do court related stuff here in Korea. I'm a legal consultant for the foreign legal consultant for a Korean law firm that deals with these issues. So this is kind of what we do on Monday when we chill, kind of get back into the week, review these videos. was I mean, I assume it's a ridiculous question to ask those of you that are still here if it's interesting, uh, because you're still here. If you were bored, you wouldn't stick around. But we'll do a couple more of these as we come on. There's a lot of shipping accidents, and a lot of you have sent them. Again, I've added them to my list, and we'll go through them. So if you make a suggestion, know that it's on the list, and it may take a while to get there. It may take a short period of time to get there. We'll just have to see. But again, they're on the list. We know about it. Yes, I know this is on the list. This has been one of the highest requested things. It's one I've been wanting to do. It's one I know about. Don't panic. We'll get there. So if you have enjoyed this thus far, please do me a solid and hit that like button. How are we doing on the likes? What do we have by my last count? My last count gives us, had to refresh that screen there, 192 likes. Well, that's nice. It's not too bad for a maritime accident Monday. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We're now at the awesome number of 22,005. So, my next goal is to double that and add a little bit and get up to the 50,000. So who knows how long that'll take? That could probably take another 10 years to get there. But if you want to help the channel grow, if this is fun, liking the videos does a great deal to get us on the algorithm. If you subscribe, it lets people know it's there. The likes help people know it's there. Making the comments, if you comment when this is over, even if it's just, hey, greetings from wherever, or you suck, or whatever you want to put, but comments show the YouTube algorithm that you liked it, and you can share the video, and if you hit the notification buttons, that also helps. Those are the ways you can help me grow this channel, get the word out there. We've had phenomenal growth in the last month and a half, and that's really super awesome, and it's great to keep this momentum up. And I owe a lot to the other law tubers that have helped me out and have had me on their shows and doing things. So I deeply appreciate all of that. We've got some time to kill here at the end, so hey, let's say we want to watch some more videos. We've got a couple of accident videos we can watch. Oh, Mr. Carter. That's really old. If the reference to Mr. Carter means anything to you, you are old as fuck. There is an actual real live ship collision case that occurred over the weekend that thankfully I'm not involved in. Are you leaving us, Natalie McClendon? Make us all sad here every single time. Didn't see that. And that's not what I'm doing. Where'd you go? I guess it scrolled up too fast. You said goodbye, I think. If you did say goodbye, bye. Bermuda Triangle. Oh yeah, now that would be fun. I'm huge into things like the Bermuda Triangle, UFOs, cryptozoology, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster. Those are fun things to do. I mean, that would be a good deal of fun, talking about the Bermuda Triangle disappearances. It's one of those weird things that there's lots of explanations for, but we don't know which, if any of them are correct. It's just kind of fun, but talking about those things is the kiss of death to YouTube. Hey, dogs. Oh, Yoda has made an appearance. Yep, Strawberry's back there still too. All righty. Yeah, ghost ships, cool stuff like that. The Marie Celeste, the ship just comes and there's still food on the kitchen tables. Nobody's on board, just the dog. I mean, shit like that is really cool. I geek out on. It's not. I guess you call it unexplained events, not really paranormal or supernatural, just highly unexplained events. So yeah, this is a case that is brand new. I saw this and I forgot to mention. I was going to start with this, but I forgot about it until I just now remembered. Again, while I'm bringing up this screen, this is your chance to take 2 seconds and hit that like, hit that subscribe, and notifications. Don't bring that one up, dummy. Where are we at? There we go. This article here is ship sinks in storm off Hong Kong. Dozens of crew in danger. Little worse than danger, I'm afraid. Hong Kong AP and industrial support. What was the date line on this? Was July 2nd. So it was 2 days ago, our time here in Asia. Oh, Montana girl 56. Happy birthday from hot Brigham City, Utah. I will be having me a delicious shake at you know where in Brigham City on the evening of July 16th. If you're ever going through Brigham City, Utah, and you do not stop at Peach City to get one of the best goddamn hamburgers and best shakes you'll ever have in your life, you need to be flogged. You need to be thrown in jail, and you never need to see the light of day again.
So he says that, and guess what he did? Not take me there. I have never heard of this place before. So I guess I'll be going and getting myself some. Yeah, shame on you, Dad, for not taking me there.
So yes, Brigham City, Utah. Got to go to Peach City and get a ridiculously good shake. Their shakes are like one of the best in the world I've ever had in the world. So alrighty then, get the. Swan Lake City says Peach City was robbed last week. Do you two know each other? You're both in Brigham City. Peach City was robbed. Whoever robbed Peach City, fuck you. It's been his family business for like a bajillion years. It's family owned business since Christ was a corporal. It's like run like a 19.
I was busy. What was I doing? Well, probably working, but still. He could have brought home some, but he didn't. How dare he?
50s diner. It is so good. Natalie McClendon lived in Logan. That's me hometown. That's where I'm headed. I will be in Logan, Utah on the 16th through the 31st with a few days in Salt Lake and Las Vegas. And again, I'll keep my Salt Lake dates open. I'll let people know the days I'm going to be in Salt Lake, and I'll let people know the days I'm going to be in Vegas. I should have a bit of time to hit at least one of the good bars in Vegas. I usually go to Helix, which is it's a small but ridiculously good bar. Probably be at the Monte Cristo Cigar Lounge as well, or I'll let you know. So if anybody wants to drop in and say hi, you are more than welcome to do that. So wow, we got my hometown crew here. Geez, two from Brigham City, one that lived in my actual hometown. Oh, I feel like I'm going home already. Mulligan's in Logan no longer. Okay, there's literally 266 people that don't care. You're the only one here that cares. Mulligan's no longer exists in Logan. My sister was really happy to have advised me that about 6 months ago, it is now a high end, whatever that means for Logan, Utah, a high end whiskey bar or a spirits bar. So yes, you can actually get like cocktails and whiskey in Logan, Utah now at a bar. The only other place you used to get booze was a beer joint called the White Owl, which makes amazing burgers, and they make their own pickles. They pickle their pickles in jalapeno juice.
So White Owl does beer only, like you mentioned. Their Philly cheesesteak, oh my gosh, so good. And they have my go-to when I go there is the Philly cheesesteak, and I think it's called the cardiac arrest. It's just uh potato chips, just fried like no other, just to help buy you more drinks and all that. But yeah, their pickle is freaking awesome. Their Philly cheesesteak is to die for.
Oh, they're perfect. Yeah, Mulligan's no longer exists. It is now a high-end bar, whatever that means. So let's get back to these these poor bastards in China here. All righty. This was July 2nd, a couple of days ago. Hong Kong Associated Press. An industrial support ship operating in the South China Sea has sunk in a storm with the possible loss of more than 24 crew members. Rescue services in Hong Kong said Saturday. Authorities dispatched planes and helicopters to aid in the rescue, with at least 3 people from the crew of 30 brought to safety as of 5:30 p.m. Saturday. Photos released by the Hong Kong Government Flying Service showed one crew member being winched up to a rescue helicopter as big waves lashed the sinking vessel, which had broken up in 2 parts. The accident occurred about 300 kilometers, 186 miles south of Hong Kong. The flying service did not give the name or origin of the vessel. It said in a statement that crew members were negotiating difficulties brought on by severe tropical storm Chaba, which was packing maximum winds of 110 kilometers or 68 miles per hour. The storm made landfall in the western part of the coastal province of Guangdong later Saturday. The Hong Kong service sent 2 fixed-wing aircraft and 4 helicopters for the rescue efforts. All righty then. Let's we need to refresh this to get the video, I guess, of the incident. It is already played through. Come on, get through here. Skip ad. Oh, come on. Yeah. It had a video of the rescue here before. Let's see if we can pick up the rescue here. And here's some pictures of the ship there winching the guy up. That's the sinking ship. Okay, there's people playing around in Hong Kong. Don't really know what that has to do with the article, but yeah, that's see if we can get the news article again, or if it's going to bump us back to the same place we were before. Yep, we're who knows? Maybe they took the video down. But yeah, this that's a sad deal. 30 people, they only managed to rescue 3. So that's something that just happened on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. No further details of that yet. If I hear anything, we'll update it next week. Now, with that cheerful piece of news out of the way, let's wrap this up with how about we do another ship accident? All right, let's lock and load the other ship accident I had prepared for today, just in case I didn't talk as much as I normally do, which seemed to be the case today. So we'll pop that in here. This has lots of credits mentioned, so there's a good chance this is going to get copyright claimed, and I might have to delete it. But let's give her a crack and see. Sharing screen. Where are we here? There we goes. All right. Well, we've got a good picture here to start out with, and again, before we get bumping on here, don't worry. This should take us up to or very close to the 2-hour mark, but no later. I do need to bail and do other things. But tomorrow again will be just kind of a relaxed birthday stream. We'll do some other stuff. We'll get that out of the way because I've got let's kind of give you a preview maybe of what to expect tomorrow. We only got partway through the mayonnaise murder. I think I really can't remember much after starting the mayonnaise murder article on Friday night, but yeah, there's mayonnaise murder. We get to talk about Russian basketball player weed were basketball players with weed in Russia. A pastor that really, really, really likes Starbucks so much that he really, really needs to pleasure himself at Starbucks. McDonald's meth smuggler, Nazis. In case you didn't know, Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced. R. Kelly. We can do some of that. So that's just kind of some of the fun stuff we'll talk about tomorrow on the birthday stream. And also, what I'm hoping for. The reason I'm scheduling a little bit later than usual, I'm going to be starting at right around 11 p.m. my time, which is 10 a.m. Eastern time. And what would that be? 11 p.m. my time would be 3 p.m. London time and midnight Australia, Canberra time. The reason I'm doing it later is because at 8:35 a.m. Central time, which would be 10:30 Eastern time, is the Taylor Shabusiness arraignment hearing. That's when our lovely lady Taylor Shabusiness has to stand in front of the court and plead guilty or not guilty to strangling her boyfriend in a drug-induced haze, coming out of the drug-induced haze and saying, well, I've already started to strangle him. I may as well finish strangling him. Then chopping off his head, chopping off his junk, making a jigsaw puzzle of the rest of his body with 6 or 7 knives, getting lazy, carting some leg parts out to a friend's van, getting lazy, and then just sort of leaving the head and his male member in a bucket at the bottom of the stairs for mom to find, running away back home and not taking a shower and completely remaining covered in blood when the police show up and say, hey.
Well, we don't know what she was shouting. Courtney Brooke, a fellow content creator, she says WrestleMania, and one of the audience member, C Winterstorm, I believe, said Rastafarian, and I like Rastafarian, so I'm gonna go with Rastafarian.
What happened here? We get to see if she is going to plead guilty or not guilty tomorrow. Oh, that's funny. Swan Likely says Montana girl is my mom. I guess you know each other then. Hi, mom. I guess you know each other. At least I hope you know each other. Yeah. So 11 p.m. equals 7 a.m. 11 a.m. equals 7 p.m. 10, 9, 8. That would be mountain time, I guess. So anywho, that's what we will be doing tomorrow. And again, I am fully expecting this psychotic woman, and psychotic in my own definition, not legally psychotic yet. This nutso woman, I fully believe she is going to plead not guilty and go to trial. 11 p.m. Korea time would be 10 a.m. Eastern time. So that's when we'll start here. But yes, I fully believe she's going to plead not guilty to all of these horrific acts, because if she pleads guilty, she goes to jail automatically for the rest of her life. No questions asked. She's just done. She admits the charges. She goes to jail without the possibility of parole for the rest of her life. She has literally nothing to lose whatsoever by pleading guilty. I mean, by pleading not guilty. She has nothing to lose. She can just hope for some sort of Hail Mary, and I doubt Mary is going to be paying any attention to her during the trial. She can just hope the prosecutors have some absolutely epic fuck up, that there's some sort of mistrial or something really horrible happens and it gets thrown out or whatever. It's a long shot. I mean, it's the longest of long shots. We saw that in the Chandler, what was Helderson? Was that his name? In the Chandler case. you got to go for it. You got nothing to lose by pleading not guilty. And whatever teeny tiny chance you have of having the case thrown out somehow, you got to take that chance, or you just go to jail for the rest of your life. You're probably going to jail for the rest of your life either way, but at least make a good show of it. And now I'm real self-conscious here that mom is on the stream, you know. the Swan Lake lady's mom is here now. Somehow I'm like suddenly self-conscious about that. But I have to maintain my language around moms. I'm sorry. Of course, your mom is probably younger than me, but there should be. Okay, this is from Inner Peace when I was saying that I wasn't going to be doing the Say Will Fairy. There should be no off limits on history. Comedians are joking about 9/11. Yeah, whatever you want to say, I'm not going to touch the Say Will Fairy case. It is literally a sacred topic here in Korea. I have to live here in Korea. I have to function in Korean society, and yeah, that's one thing I am not even gonna mention. It's a horrific tragedy, and it is literally the saddest thing that's happened in this country other than the Korean War. Basically, it is just something that is only talked about in the most reverent of tones. It's not something to be monetized and dicking around on stream with. It's not something to be speculating about, because you have about 1,000 parents and then 40 million Koreans that would be on my shit. So yeah, that's think what you want. Say I'm a cuck, say I'm a simp, say I'm a dick, say I'm a pussy. I ain't gonna touch this topic. It is just way too weighted. It's way too heavy. There's way too much stuff going on with it for me to even mention. Georgina Archer asks, "Where is your hat today?" It's about 1 billion degrees in this room today. It's just way too hot to have the hat on. now it's kind of cooled down, but I don't have a hat within arm's reach. But it was way too hot in this room. Asso, thank you very much. Asso, whatever. Ghislaine Maxwell will meet a witch named Killary. Yeah, I did like the one meme I got. Had like Bill leaning over Hillary. Hillary was writing something. It's like, and it was like I something along the lines of, "Oh, I regret everything I did. I'm sorry. I can no longer live my life." Signed, Ghislaine Maxwell. Being written by Hillary. That I can joke about. That I will joke about. Thank you so much for that donation. The super chat was awesome. I really, really respect everything that you guys do for me. The support you give me, it's absolutely lovely. It's completely undeserved. Digger 420. It's the Sewol Ferry disaster in Korea. SEWOL. It was a ship full of high school students that capsized, and 400. I believe. Let me see here. Let me bring this up here. I don't want to leave this channel. Hell no.
Tamara, is your dad in your old room? No. As Baker would say, no. My bedroom was the blue wall that he had later on. This green wall room is just his extra office space, and that alcohol cabinet that he has in the back was always there. He just added some more alcohol and tobacco and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, here's alcohol cabinet right there. Wine is in here. Some of his cigar and tobaccos are in here. And beyond this door where he's sitting right now is his little extra office space where he did like his office work and stuff that he needed to do over time. But the blue wall room that he had later on is my old room.
God dang, I just about signed myself out by being a dick. Let's not do that. That would be That would be less than stellar if I used my current screen for a search term. Okay. Don't say that. Yeah, if there was 476 passengers and 304 deaths. 5 bodies were never recovered. Of the 304 deaths, 250 were second-year high school students. Yeah, it's just not something that any sane person, any sane foreigner in Korea would talk about publicly and monetize and do all this other shit. It's a horrific tragedy. It is still it was April 16th. Every year there's still memorial services. Everybody wears little yellow ribbons. It was just that big of a deal that 300 children's lives were wiped out, basically. So, yep. I mean, it was bad enough they closed the high school, basically. You know, they lost their entire school, effectively. You know. Yeah. Yep. We don't talk about that. So, you know, it's one thing that I would love to cover, but I like my channel. I like living here and I like my job. So I ain't going to touch it. It's a horrific tragedy. Read about it all you want by yourself. There's also I did not know that the BTS song Spring Day was based off this. I did not know that. I've never heard the song. I don't know the song, but there's also a movie made about it. With that in mind, let's wrap this up with some oh geez. Okay. Let's see. Let's wrap this up with a collision video. This one starts out really nice. So boom, we've already got a ship in trouble in the opening credits. And hey, whoever is responsible for these videos, thank you. I'm just using them for fair use. Please don't copyright claim me. Thanks. Nope, they've got video cameras. This is an intentional sinking. Yeah, okay. That is an intentional singing. That doesn't look very good. Why would you intentionally sink a vessel? Why would you intentionally sink a vessel? Reef building, James Andrew Morrison, that is the largest reason why you would do it. You sink them, and then over the years, sea life moves into them. Yeah, it just develops into reefs and barriers. So yeah, that's as horrifically unenvironmentally friendly as it sounds. Sinking a used ship is actually a very environmental friendly thing to do. It becomes this huge, like, micro habitat for sea life. So that was clearly an intentional sinking because there was cameras and people cheering. This guy here, assuming it's a guy. What are you eating, doggy? Hey, what are you doing, dumbass? There's nothing for you to be eating there. I have a sneaky suspicion that this isn't going to go well. Let's give it a watch. Okay. Right here, I think you've officially passed the point of no return. I think you've passed the balance point. Oh, look at this person is probably shitting themselves right now. Wow, okay. Oh, geez. Dude's coming in hot. Again, I know zero about this accident that we're witnessing right now, right this moment, but I have a very sneaky suspicion that alcohol may be involved in this collision. I'm guessing this may be an alcohol related incident. Let's watch it and see what y'all think. Bump back 10 seconds there. Do. What say you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Was alcohol involved in this particular accident or not? John D, is this boat crash porn? Yeah, this is pretty much what we do on Monday. We do boat crash porn.
Angela, thank you so much for dropping by. Appreciate you. Hope you have a beautiful sleep, and I'll see you later.
Boat crashes, ship sinkings, other maritime related disaster stuff. We were a little bit serious today with the Skyway Bridge. We'll do another case next week, but we'll always have dumb people doing stupid things with really, really expensive toys. Yep, I'm calling alcohol on this.
I fucking got it!
Go. Here they go.
Great, Mom. Way to be cheering on the dinghy.
Oh my god.
Let's watch this and see if we can figure out what might have gone wrong with this particular incident here. I'm gonna guess he just keeps going straight into this ship that the other people are on.
What's going on?
Yep. If you hear a ship doing that, you're fucked. If you're blowing its whistle like that, you're toast. Yep.
Oh my god.
Wham! Oh, gotcha,
Holy
bitch.
shit.
Okay, that's interesting. Huh. I'm thinking that they were asleep. They were down below deck, drinking, knocking boots, doing something. But I refuse to believe there was anybody here in the wheelhouse watching out the front window. And I was waiting to see if someone came running out of from below decks or running out of the cabin. There was nobody the entire time. They were either asleep, drunk, knocking boots, doing something. But they were not paying a damn attention. See, nobody's coming running out. Still nobody's coming out. Nobody's there. Wow. All right. Oh, they did crash. They had a good crash there.
No, not yet. The thing's not powering on for some reason, so I'll have to troubleshoot it a little bit.
Boom. Do you hear that? They turned because they crashed. All right. These places in South Asia, Southwest Asia, Southeast Asia, they have a lot of ship accidents. Oh, we got a tugboat. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's back that bitch up. All right. I see what's going on. This is a tugboat here in the foreground. Tugboat here. We have a barge here being towed, and it looks like another tugboat helping push the barge while it's being towed. Here's the tow rope that they're towing the barge with. It seems that that no one on this ship over here saw this line. This happens a lot with tug and tow. And by a lot, I mean, if it ever happens, it should never happen. This guy sees the tugboat, sees the barge, and thinks, oh, I have some free space. I'm going to go between these two. I'm not going to sit. And this is like everybody that drives a damn car. I hate this more than anything. When
Hello, Sarah Beth. I appreciate you and welcome in.
there's a car here, I'm here, and there's a little space, and people come out and turn left or turn right in front of you. When if they just wait one goddamn second, there's not anybody behind me for 45 freaking miles. This is the maritime example of that happening. Bonehead cannot wait for a minute or two for this barge to go. So he's thinking, all right, I'm just going to go through this space right here. Let's see what happens. Cast your votes now. Is the main tugboat number one going?
Hello, Harriet. How are you doing? Welcome in. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Maritime Monday as I build some Legos. Welcome.
Down? Is the barge number two going to be sinking? Or is this boat that's cutting across number three going to be sinking? Or for some reason, would it be second tugboat number four? Let's see what goes wrong for which and how many of these ships involved. Yep, see, hitting the tow line there. Oh, it's still caught on the tow line. It's going to start to flip this ship, and it's going to start to spin this one and spin the barge. Let's see how it all works out. Oh, we have several votes for three here. This is a tugboat, for God's sake. This is another fucking tugboat. He should clearly know that if you see a tugboat and a barge
Hello, Uncle Buck. How are you doing?
in the middle of the river, there's something between the two. After all, that's his job. But apparently, he's incredibly brain dead. It looks like we have the number three seems to be the most likely person to sink. I'm gonna go with three and possibly one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with three and possibly one. We've had a couple. Well, Jake's Baby Cakes says all of the above. Yeah, they're all the same color too. Yeah, they're all on the same team apparently. So let's see what happens. We have a musical accompaniment. Okay, for those of you non-maritime people, how would you solve this situation? It looks like whoever said number two wins. Number three wins, I mean. How would you solve this? Those of you that have zero nautical or maritime experience at all, what would you do to solve this situation? Oh, James Andrew Morrison seems to be the genius of the bunch. Cut the rope. Megapint D-Way is not the answer. But speaking of Megapint, I haven't had nearly enough of my Megapint tonight. Ugh. The ice is melted. Now it's a really watered down vodka tonic. Big Scissors has entered the name here, Bohemian. Yep. Jump ship or cut rope, says Maria Rose 1. Yep. That would be MJ. Cut the line. Hair skeletal.
Welcome in, Sticky Widget. How are you doing? Sit back, relax, and enjoy some Maritime Monday as I almost finish up this build, really. Yeah. And Sticky Widget, thanks for joining the Vice Squad. I appreciate your support. We do some gaming, we chill, we have fun, and most importantly, we enjoy each other's company. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you.
Says cut. Yep. So that's kind of what you would do, but doesn't look like it happened. Okay, it snapped the rope. Oh, boo. 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 The answer was none of the above. It snapped the rope. The way it was taking on water here in the back, I thought it was going to flip the tug. Crap. Oh, well, that was a letdown. Boo. You guys can do better than that. Dang it! See, when it, like right here, when it's starting to take on the water on the back, I thought it would flood this ship and flip it over. Alas, no. Boo. Oh, oh dear. If that is what I think it is, and those of you with maritime knowledge may tell me one way or the other. I believe this is an
GG Gina. Welcome. Timu crew has arrived. I feel like I'm missing some context here. But welcome.
anchor line from another ship. Somehow this ship had its anchor out. This other ship had an anchor out, and they caught this anchor chain on the front of their boat. They've hit them here. It looks like there was a collision here. And again, I watch these things live too. I've I fast forward through them, just like really just do like a quick.
Gotcha. Timu Tug and Timu Megan. Gotcha. Oh, what's up, Lefty? Am I just in time for you to finish streaming? Hey, we got 40 minutes, Lefty. You made it on time. We still got some time left. Congratulations. Hope you're doing good. Honestly, that's pretty funny that they call themselves Timu Mug and Timu Megan. That's freaking awesome. You're early, I'll be back in 38.
Grab and slide like this just to make sure there's actual accidents, because our second time out we had like the lamest videos ever because I didn't preview them. Tug lives matter, you know it. Icurious, you're right. But yeah, so it looks like again there's some damage up here. Some this canopy here is out of whack. So it looks like they smashed into this ship at a good angle, and when they did so, when they smashed into it and turned, bounced off the side, they caught the anchor line on this part of the ship.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to all the raiders. I appreciate you guys raiding me. Thank you so much. We're just watching Legal Vice's Maritime Monday while I build the Lego Endurance ship. So, yeah, sit back, relax, enjoy, grab some drink or snacks if you have any nearby. Emu Crew Raid, appreciate you. Shelly, welcome, welcome. Mr. Coop, how are you doing, sir? But if you guys like to chill and relax, maybe have some games, maybe be a little chaotic every once in a while, please consider like and subscribe. And if you are subscribed already, please double check down below if you are still subscribed, because YouTube can be an asshole and unsubscribe without you guys noticing. And hit the bell notification so you can get all the notifications whenever I post a community post or a video. Again, sit back, relax, enjoy, and thank you for the raid.
Oops. Hashtag tugs tits. Make it trend again. Yep. And let's go for a second accident. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Boom. Oh, here we go again. Just in case you didn't like it the first time, you get another one. Oh, here we go again. Being in port seems to be much more dangerous than we thought. Hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed it didn't sink. That would have been cool. Come on. The live stream was hilarious though. Unexpected success ship activities. Yeah. it, it was definitely not a ship accident or collision video. It was just like minor ship.
Heroes Chris Painting Corner. Welcome, welcome. Going to bed now. Thanks. I'll catch the rest on replay. Thank you, B Stone, for tuning in. I hope you have a beautiful night.
Ship inconveniences. Mm. Oh, that's a very good point. I wouldn't want to be on a boat today during the 4th. So many crazies. Not just so many crazies. Lakes are full of drunken crazies. Yeah, that makes it even worse. So yeah, let's watch someone else make some serious fuck ups here in port. I feel sorry for this one.
Welcome, Wesley. Thanks for hopping by. Appreciate you.
What looks like a little tuna fish. Tuna fishing vessel. This is not actually a tuna fish. Looks like a small tuna fishing vessel. It's pretty clear what's going to happen. Let's watch this. Let's watch this red ship just go full idiot and.
Skipper, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome.
Smash into it.
Holy shit.
with commentary from witnesses.
Holy shit. What the fuck? Holy shit.
Oh my god. Yep. So that happened. And wow. This big white ship here looks really fucking expensive. I mean, we're talking probably tens of millions of dollars. This is a big fucking ship. That, yeah, it really, John, yes, it really does look expensive. And again, this is not the angle you want to approach the pier on. How they even get in these situations is utterly beyond me. You have to be the definition of incompetent, or you have to had some sort of ridiculously critical system failure. But let's watch someone's insurance premiums go up. Ah, god damn. Oh, let's we have the name of the ship here. Let's see if we can quickly do a search for Blue Magic yacht value. Oh, I forgot to put yacht yacht value. It's currently for sale if it's the same ship, if anybody wants it. Do we have a picture of it here? Do we have a picture? Is that it?
Heroes Chris Painting Corner. It was a nice ship until it crashed. Shelly, how are ya? I really miss your dad, Connor. He was a wonderful addition to my day often. Well, welcome in and enjoy more of his content. Thanks for being here.
That is not it. There is another yacht called the Blue Magic that looks different, that is valued at 3.3 million euros. Okay, so it's not that one. No, here we go. Here's an article about it. Let's see. This is fun. All right. Lordy. All right, we're going to switch screens here because we have a news article about this one. When you see something this big, it's going to make the news. All right. Let's share this screen. Share screen. La, 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 la. This is a 48-meter vessel. Wait, I need to move this over here. Boom. All right, get my shit together. Enlarge. On June 23rd, this is 2019. Yep. On June 23rd, a 47.7 meter Heisen charter super yacht Blue Magic lost control. They always lose control, don't they? So, and hit a pier at the port of Santa Maria de Lucia, Italy. The sailing yacht was crushed between the dock and the bow of the Blue Magic. At the time of the collision, the sailing vessel was not occupied, and fortunately, no one was injured in the accident. Initial assessment by Italian authorities indicate that the accident was caused by a defect in the yacht's electronic propulsion system. Upon boarding, PSC, those are the port state control. They're the safety people that make sure ships are safe to sail. Found that the Blue Magic had several paperwork deficiencies. Oops. The vessel remains moored at the port as of Thursday. The 1998 built yacht was previously known under the names of Blowsy and Big Mac, features a beam of 8.5 meters, and that's 8.5 meters across, and 1.5 meter draft, so underwater, 1.85 meters underwater, relying on an aluminum hull and superstructure. Oh, that's pretty inside. That's nice. The motor yacht can accommodate 10 guests in 5 cabins with an interior design by Gregati Associati and the exterior design by Mulder Design. The yacht undertook thorough refit works in 2014. That's a pretty little ship there. Nice little living room inside the ship. Bet those bottles are all broken now. Powered by MTU engines of 3,800 horsepower. That can cruise. Yeah.
I hope one day I can be rich enough to say it's only 150K a week plus expenses. That's big money per week. Jeez.
Reaches a maximum speed of 24 knots and cruises at 18 knots. That was a pretty ship. Her charter rates for summer start from 150,000 pounds per week. Okay, well, it didn't tell us how much the damn thing was worth. I'm so curious now. We need the Heisen Blue Magic Yacht value. Let's see if this is going to tell us. A little quickly reading through here. Nope, that's the wrong one again. Damn it. Super yacht. Guess it's not going to tell us what it's worth here in any quick.
I believe we're in the same boat, pun intended, in that we can only say only 150K sarcastically. Yeah. I'd be wanting them to feed me, wipe my ass, and give me a reach around for that kind of money. uh, fuck yeah.
Quickly discoverable thing. But you can rent it for 150,000 euros per week if you really feel like it. Yep. Damn. Well, that's depressing. I really wanted to know how much this thing was worth. I can only guess that it's probably somewhere between $6 and $10 million. That's really all I could guess. you know. Last place I'm going to check, and then we'll get back to the video. 2 twin cabins, 12 guests, 5 rooms, 9 crew, interior bar, 0 speed stabilizers, blah, blah, blah. Water sports. Oh, here we have engines, maximum cruising speed, builder, yank. Nope. Sorry, it's just, this is just for rich people that want to rent it. Apparently now it rents for 160,000 euros a week. So if any of you are feeling rich, I know a ship you can use. It's only been smashed into a pier once. So yeah, I'm guessing somewhere maybe around 10 million. Oh, we have some here that says the average price for
Inflation hasn't hit yet, Soul. It hasn't hit yet. Maybe it will soon. Who knows?
Heisen Yachts is about 14 million euros. Yep, well, dang. Let's watch the Blue Magic smash into this poor son of a bitch of a pier and other little yacht boat. That was kind of fun. Real-time news reading. Ship broke crash compilation and share this beast again. Here we go. Whoops. Come on. Yeah, that's not good. Oh, we this was one we had on last week. The container ship that's coming in a little bit too close to this one, and we have these containers falling off and smashing on the pier, which I can just imagine this may have been in the high tens, if not low hundreds of millions of dollars to fix that ship, fix your ship, compensate all of the container damage, all of the goods inside the container, and the damage to the pier when you smash into it. Oh, that's ugly. That is just ugly. Uh-oh, here we have someone out in a little dinghy. This looks like sailing lesson day 1. Do they have student boat drivers? You're looking at a student boat driver right now. This is where everybody starts, on these little tiny dinghies out in the ocean. I guess we just get to go see a funny video of some guy flipping over. I'll tell you who's pissed about that last accident. The lawyers that have to work 18 hours a day for the next month to get control of the situation. Yeah, telling him how to turn the tiller. Well, oh, okay. All right. Okay, again, you can see the buoys here set up. This is another intentional sinking. You know, that ship has seen better days. You got the tugs here watching, it looks like. Yep. Goodbye, ship. Go make some homes for fishes. Okay, we saw this one too. The Russian ship coming in at just the exact wrong angle. Get him, Olga. Well, they arrived at the pier. What the hell's going on here? Oh my lord! What would? Oh my god! Okay. Yeah, this is not something you see every day. Wow. All right. Jeff cannot sail. Jeff has never sailed. I ride on boats really well, but I do not know how to sail.
Connor used to sail because Connor learned how to sail from school. Can Connor sail now? Who knows? Probably not.
sail. This, God knows, God only knows what happens. This is what you call a row ship, a roll on, roll off. There's cargo. You could be these trucks themselves could be the cargo. Like you drive into these ships, and you unload your trailer, you unload cars or vehicles or whatnot, and then you roll back off again. So they roll on, you roll the cargo on, then you go to your port, and when it comes time to discharge the cargo, unload the ship, you
Hello, Granny Smith. Jump. Well, only if it can.
hook up to the trailers and you roll off the ship again. But for some reason, this ship is moving. By the way, not like a ferry. It's like it's cargo. Like this container here is full of cargo. The truck will drive it on just like a regular container truck driving down the road. Then it will just park it in the ship, and then the truck will take off. And then when you get to the destination port, another truck will come and hook up to the truck and take it off. Or you can transport vehicles like similar to a ferry, but they would be cargo and not privately owned things. I don't know why this is moving. This is literally exactly what is not supposed to happen. I don't know how it would be moving this fast with the ramp down. I would be really curious to know how and why this is happening. But with that ship going forward at such a high rate of speed somehow, this is not going to end well. Not heavy sea swell? No, this is Jaded Fat. It's not lashed to the port, to the pier. Maybe I don't know. It's just maybe the lashing ropes came undone. I don't know. It doesn't look like the seas are too bad. I have no idea how this happened, but it's not a good situation, and I have a suspicion it's going to get really, really ugly. Yep. Oh God, there goes the forklift. Wow. Good Lord, and they're going right off into the drink. Oh God, there goes the ramp. Oh, there goes the pier. Jesus. I have no explanation for how that happened. That was pretty epic, though. Just this gigantic ship is just like moving down the pier and taking literally everything in its path with it. Holy crap. Huh. All right. Oh, we get sad music with this one. I'm just trying to park. I didn't mean to destroy the ship. Oh. Oh, well. I don't know.
Trying to work at the same time. Hard to chat and work at the same time some days. Yeah, it happens.
Why this next thing that's about to happen is actually going to happen. Why would you do this? Just really quick, a couple things I had highlighted to read that I forgot about. Have you seen videos of mega yacht crashes? Apparently their engine rooms nowadays are entirely computerized, and sometimes those computers fail. Yeah, there's a lot of automation, but there are still supposed to be people there to take manual countermeasures. You still have your chief engineers, your oilers, your other people that are in the engine rooms, and the failures suck. But you generally should be able to take countermeasures. But I'm just kind of curious about how some of these things even happen. That's why it says mega yachts have computerized engine rooms and can crash. Yes, as we just talked about, just pointed out. If the computer systems fail, it does kind of take a little bit to restart engines and get things done, but you still try something. Drop your anchor, don't just plow straight into something like we're about to see with this little iceberg. I got this little lady here. She's probably waiting for her boyfriend. I'm the king of the world. I don't know why this ship is about to go through this iceberg. But hey, what could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong here? Why would you do this? Are they trying to break it up? Okay. I do not know if this is intentional or not. But yeah, this letting water into the back of the ship like this, however it gets in there. I mean, this may be filming an intentional sinking because it doesn't look like there's anything going on in any other part of the ship, and it looks kind of stripped down.
Aspen, I'm at work so I can't stay, but still going to replay this later. Well, thanks for stopping by.
So if that's what they're doing, that's pretty cool. This is going to give us a view of what a ship sinking looks like and how fast this can happen once water starts to pour in. Watch how fast this goes down. So literally when water comes on like this, you have no time to escape. Oh dear. Oh, this is cool. Are we going to get to see a decapitation? Because dude is up higher than the bridge. Dude, duck. Fuck. Duck. Please duck. Oh, well, I guess you didn't need to duck. It stopped before it.
Well, Aspen, there are multiple others that I did since, because I did this every day since Saturday, this past Saturday. So there are plenty more videos you can watch.
Got to your head. Okay, now we get to see a tugboat go down. Oh shit, there's people on that one. Never mind, that's not funny. Dang. Oh, dude, let go. Okay, here's the deal. If you go down with a ship like this, you
No need to apologize. 3D world gets in the way a lot of times, so it's understandable. But if you want to watch some more, I've did this every day since this past Saturday.
want to get as far away from this ship as possible because
And Aspen, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. I appreciate ya. Love the Shiba Inu farting out hearts. He really did go down with this ship, yep, like a true captain.
you can get sucked down with the ship when it goes down. You can go down with it. So yeah, there was people under that. That looks bad. Yeah, I hope everybody was safe there because there was a lot of people on that tugboat when they did their little dance. Yeah, so you got people here, people over there, this dude up here, that guy there, and they went under. God, I hope they got out. This guy needs to get out fast, dude. You're not gonna put.
Sticky with cheat. Thank you for the I can't talk. 5 Vice Baby gift and membership. Got Denise, Corn Pope, nice. Hero Chris, Painting Corner, Rasputin, and McRae. Thank you so much, Sticky Widget, for the support, and welcome to everyone who got the gifted membership from Sticky Widget, and please say thank you to him.
Push it up right by yourself. Okay, there's 1, 2. Where's the other? Oh, God. Okay, that's an extra bonus. This is another reason why you want to be away from ships when they go down. This gigantic spinning propeller. Yeah, there's likely some oil pollution coming from this. But yeah, that propeller thing there is something you want to watch out for. Let's watch that sucker spin and turns around, goes under, you get nailed in it. Ugh. Yes, the prop is still turning. Okay, we've talked about this one before. This is also intentional. There's some sort of clear, I don't know what it is. There's some sort of lumber mill, paper mill, something off to the this side of the screen. And this is how you unload a giant ship full of lumber. You just ballast it so it dumps everything off the side. You right the ship, the wood floats where it needs to go, and you go back out to sea. Yeah, so this is intentionally dumping its wood into the water. That's how you deliver a gigantic boat full of wood. And here you have, again, if you think this is the third time we've seen this one, knocking over this several $1 million gantry crane, bearing in mind there is someone actually up in there working. Hate these gantry crane accidents. Ugh. And we get the added fire to this one.
Shit. Oh shit, there goes the top of his boat. There it goes. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
I didn't need to provide the commentary for that one. He did it just fine. Is this the old lady that like the oblivious grandma one? Yeah, this is the oblivious grandma video we've done before too, just from a different angle. Grandma doesn't care. Grandma move. Crunch. Boat stopped. Oh. Very large ship hits. Oh, okay. Oh, this is bad. Now we have the Russian swear words. I told you before that one of the videos I was surprised at the lack of Russian swear words. And any of you that didn't see last week's show, if you go right to the very end, the last 30 minutes or so, we have a crash course on Russian swear words. That was pretty fun to do. Here we have the Russian swear words coming into play. That was good. Oh, missed it by that much. Oh, ding. Well, back up and try it again. The ship's name was Challenge, by the way. We've got a little bit of a challenge to get under the bridge.
Oh, just like how you guys like to say every single time, it'll buff out.
Oh, God. Oh, man. This is another one. What is this? The Far East Honesty accident, I guess we'll call this one. Wow. Why would you do that? Why is my A not working? Far East. Was it Far East Honesty? Was that the name of the ship? Yep. Far East Honesty. Wow. Honesty accident. Bulk carrier collided. This was August 1st, 2019. Let's get a little background on this. I think this is the last accident on the video. So let's see what happens. Bump us out of this screen. Share this screen. No, we don't need to do that. We need to share screen. This is an article from Fleet Monitoring site called "Another One Bites the Dust." Dun, dun, dun. Oop, hang on, wrong one. I'm enlarging the wrong one. There we go. Another one bites the dust. Bulk carrier collided with pier, smashed berthed ship. Ayah. That's some good damage to it there. Bulk carrier Far East Honesty collided with a pier at SSIT Port Vung Tau, Vietnam. Understood while berthing on July 31 on arrival from Philippines, ship's bow was severely damaged. She also hit berthed local container vessel or barge. Photos and video were published by Mr. Hong Kong Van, Korea Express, Saigon Port. Alrighty. Ooh, that looks that ship did get munched, didn't it? Alrighty. Well, what caused the accident? Don't just do that. Whatever. Let's see. Marinetraffic.com usually has some good articles. Let me see if this is a good article. And yes, I agree to all your. Nope, that's just telling us where the ship is at the moment. Smashed another ship. Weekly update. Let's see here. Far East Honesty. Again, that's about all the article. That's about all the article says. It just crashed into the jetty. Far East Honesty has been loaded onto the issued a decision to temporarily suspend Far Eastern Honesty and coordinate with Maritime Administration Ho Chi Minh City regarding case. Nothing to report on the cause of the accident. Let's just kind of watch it smash the bejesus out of the port and another ship. And then we will wrap this up for tonight. All right, share the screen. All righty, here comes the Far East Honesty. Clearly a catastrophic system failure if ever there was one. Wow. Ooh, it barely missed the gantry crane. Oh, those are bad crunchy noises. All right, there we go. That's the end of the video for today. We'll do another case next week. Have another round of videos next week, and we'll be enjoying some fun there. Again, tomorrow night, we're just going to sit and do a birthday stream, hit some news articles, talk about them, laugh about them, make fun of people like we normally do. Feel free to bring a drink along with you, especially you degenerates in America that want to start drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning, or well, I guess it'd be 11 o'clock Eastern, and no, it would be 10 o'clock Eastern, 9, 8, 7 Pacific. So yeah, it'll be my birthday stream, and we'll just do dumb shit and talk about stuff and just have fun. I got a couple of presents from people. Maybe we'll open the presents and see what's going on. Maybe have a guest or two. We'll see. But anywho, it's been another fun night tonight. I hope you enjoyed the Skyway Bridge case, and we'll do another case next week. And the videos are always fun. I enjoy doing the videos. Some of you have sent some collision videos. I appreciate that. If there's any particular ship accidents you're aware of that you want me to get around to eventually, please let me know. And for the rest of the week, we'll be doing more of the Alec Baldwin stuff. Wednesday, there's three people to go through still. I'm not sure we'll do all three of them, but we probably will. Let me pull this up again real quick so I can be accurate with my times. The plan this is just the plan right now at the moment, and because I'm disorganized and shit happens, this may not be the actual the actual order we do these in, or this may not be the ones that we do, but we have Seth Kenny. Seth was the guy that supplied the dummy rounds and all of the rounds that were used, allegedly all of the rounds that were used on the set of Rust, where Alec Baldwin was dicking around with a gun and blasted the cinematographer and the direct and killed her, and the bullet went straight through her and into the director. So Seth is the guy that provided the weapons. He's the one that I think has to answer the first question of how live rounds came from him. Because again, thanks to the people in the chat, they informed me that there's empty brass, that this company supplies empty brass to these other companies, and one of the other companies that apparently provided the dummy rounds, that loaded the brass with the dummy rounds and the blank rounds, was Seth here. His name's Seth Kenny. Now it's interesting, the video is titled Police Interview rather than Police Interrogation. So we'll have to see if they read him his rights at the beginning of the video. And I haven't seen these. I'm watching these totally cold with everybody. So those of you that have seen the videos, no spoilers, please. I want to see if they read him his rights at the beginning and make him a suspect, or if it is literally just, we don't think you've done anything wrong and we want you to tell us what happened. So that Seth is one, and Seth's interview is 1 hour and 22 minutes. So we can do that in a day if I don't talk too much. So I have to control my talking. So we might do that on Wednesday. Thursday, I'm thinking of doing Thursday and Friday. I'm thinking of doing Prop Master. Sarah Zachary. Sarah is the one that is confusing me in all of this. The armorer chick, Hannah, she was in charge. She was the head armorer for this, but she kept delegating stuff to Sarah. She kept calling Sarah her boss. And in addition to doing armorer stuff, she was doing prop stuff. So I'm not sure if Sarah is Hannah's boss. I mean, we have a lot of questions to answer, and Sarah has answers. Sarah's the one that, and she has a 2 hour and 24 minute interrogation. Again, that's called an interrogation on the video. So likely she has been read her rights. So we'll break that up into 2 days. I'm thinking Thursday and Friday. And then we have assistant director David Halls, who we kept saying, Dave's not here, man. So the assistant director, Dave Hall, has a 1 hour and 5 minute interrogation. So that we will either do that on Saturday or next Tuesday. I just might do a Saturday stream for the hell of it, if I don't have anything to do. So that'll be the next few incidents. And at some point, like I said, hopefully 24 hours from now, we'll be able to find a live stream of Taylor Shabusiness's arraignment hearing. That's the primary goal, is to get her story. We need a Taylor Shabusiness thing. If they do it live, we'll watch it live. And in any case, I'll do a recap of it later. But that's my goal. Hopefully 24 hours from now, we'll be watching a Taylor Shabusiness arraignment hearing. So there we go. We've had some great some super chats tonight that were fun. I deeply appreciate all the super chats you guys bring in here. Yes, Pleb Life, that's what I just mentioned. Dave's, will either get to Dave's interrogation on Saturday or probably most likely next Tuesday. So we'll just kind of have to see. Happy 4th of July to all of you Americans here in the audience. And hey, sorry to those of you from the UK. Had a lot of fun tonight. Always, again, I'm just scrolling back through here to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. If any super chats want to come down, now is the time to do it. Oh, looks like we got a couple of porn bots snuck through. Mods took care of it quickly, though. Congrats, you got it right in. I think I forgot to do a subscribers only thing, didn't I? What do you want, dogs? Dogs are telling me, shut up. You've been going for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So, all right. I guess it's time to wrap this up to figure out I guess Dargie's strawberry is Dargie. Dargie is strawberry in Korean. I guess Strawberry's ball probably went under the chair and she can't get it, so she's barking at me to get it for her. But anyway, hey, we got my birthday stream coming up tomorrow. Hopefully, business will be involved. Thanks to all of my monitors, all of my moderators who stuck through all of this. Thanks to all of you that were here. Those of you that stayed from the beginning to the end, I really question your need to get a life, but I appreciate it. Those of you that came late, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. Your generosity and kindness kicked me up over the 22,000 subscriber mark today, which is something that I was utterly unheard of a month ago. We're at 22,009 subscribers right now. Things are continuing to grow. You can get the word out by liking the video. I don't know what our like count is. The last one I have on my screen is 357 likes. You guys are really good about liking my videos, and I appreciate that. Usually the likes are way less than the views, but all told, I usually hit a good 33% of viewers hit the like button. So I deeply appreciate that. All of your likes help big time to get YouTube to pay attention. Your comments on the videos, for those of you on the replay crew, please leave a comment. Those of you that are here now, when it goes live again, just pop in and make some sort of comment. Notify button, share with your friends. Let's keep growing and having fun. And with that, again, final shout out to the awesome mods. Thanks to all of you for the 4th of July wishes. Thanks to all of you that have given me birthday wishes. Please stop by tomorrow. We will be having fun. I'll probably be having drinks. Won't be doing anything crazy like the shots for cash. That grift thing is not going to happen very often. But if any of you do want to drop off any super chats and things like that, they will be accepted with absolute graciousness and deep thanks. Have a great day. Have a great night. Have a great morning wherever you happen to be. And everybody, please take care of yourselves. Watch over each other. Tell the mods thanks. Mods, tell the other viewers thanks. Love y'all. See you soon. About 23 hours and 20 minutes from now. Until then, I'm Legal Vices reminding you to take care and to always enjoy your legal vices. Bye.
Okay. He did have the best mods on YouTube. I do agree with that. Yeah, so I'm almost done with the ship. Still a little progress check, why don't we? I still miss Maritime Mondays. It makes my heart happy. I'm glad. I'm glad. Move you here, move you down here, and now you have us. Oh yeah. And I am honored to have inherited the absolute fucking best cat in the world of YouTube. I'm gonna cheat and then actually put this up before I do the progress check. Un momento, por favor. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, wrong way. There. Okay, honestly, I am like so freaking terrified to pick this thing up. I am not going to lie. Oh, oh, hey, I can put this on too. You go like so. Oops. What? Uh-huh. Okay. Hello, Granny Smith. I already said hi to you. I remember. Been here, don't comment much. It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Okay. Move you here. Clear the area. Yeah, y- actually, here. Let's see how much I have left. If I don't have much left, then yeah, okay. I'll just finish it up. I can slide it along, but guess what? I'm going to finish it. Oh, also got the Godzilla up there. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna finish this up and then show you guys. So, you go that way. Granny Smith, thank you for the $10 super sticker. I appreciate you. And congratulations on the first super on live stream. I appreciate you, and I am honored that you chose my stream to send the first super chat. Okay. Boop. There's one. And then get the sales going. Oh, come on. Okay. That's one sale. And the second sale over here. Oh, come on. One, two. I know, I can't believe I finished it as well. And so quick too. Took what? Couple hours a day since Saturday. And then this sale. Oh, you're kidding. I put this backwards. Glad I caught that. Okay. One, two, three. Oh, come on. Get in the hole. Thank you. That's awesomeness that you powered through the build and shared your dad with us. He will be proud. The world may never know. But I'm glad that I'm finally over with this. Where do you go? Okay. Oh, I see. I see, I see. We are having fun, Streamlabs. Well, at least I am. I hope everyone else is too. Get out, slide it over. Okay. Oh god, that's terrifying. Okay. Carefully take you out. Don't drop. Don't drop. There. There. Yeah, I'm almost done. Almost done. Patience. I'm almost done. Bloop. This one. And go back there. This is when the foghorn will be great. I know. I know. I don't know why it's not powering up, but I'll have to. I have to figure that out. So, foghorn. Okay. So there's information on this endurance plaque. Endurance, original name Polaris, designed by Ole Andrew Larson. Okay. Hi, Barkentine. Tonnage 350. Length 144 feet or 44 meters. Beam 25 feet or 7.6 meters. Uh, Propulsion 350 horsepower or 260. Coal-fired steam and sail speed 10.2 knots or 11.7 miles an hour or 18.9 kilometers an hour. Complement 28. Okay. Sweet. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have completed the endurance. It's done. Over. Finale. Ah. Okay, move you over there. Okay, let's. Honestly, I might get rid of those statues that I put up literally yesterday, move that somewhere else, and put the endurance on that little shelf. But anyway. This is the endurance. It's got 4 lifeboats, got the full sail on there. The propeller in the back, actually, well, not the propeller, but the little steery thing, I forgot the name of it. That moves. And then I'll. Oh, small pool Vienna, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Hello, Rachel. But here's a little closer. I'll. Do not drop, do not tip. I'll take some pictures, little close up pictures, and then post it on my uh, Twitter as well. But yeah, done. Fan flippin' tastic. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished indeed. Ah. So does that mean this was our last Maritime Monday stream? I do have one more Lego. I have Ooh, sticky widget. Thanks for reminding me. Shackleton Lifeboat. So now I've completed Shackleton's Lifeboat and the Endurance. Here, let me see if I can put both of them together in the same frame here. Move the microphone. Yeah, so there's Shackleton Lifeboat with the Endurance. Yeah. Um, you can rerun them forever. Yeah, I mean, I have this Lego. This is my last Lego box that I have because I had 3 boxes: the Shackleton Lifeboat, Endurance, that record player. Okay, that'll make a great D&D prop. Oh yeah. Honestly, I haven't played D&D a lot. I do want to, but I don't know. Okay. Makes me wonder if you could figure out which lifeboats are put together for the survival build. Yeah. Actually, cool thing about this Lego is it has the little story on the instruction page about the endurance. Could run a session with you. Oh yeah. Well, my work schedule's been stupid, so I don't know. It's every all over the place. But yeah, the Lego instructions have the story of the endurance. It's the first one, two, three, four, five, six, the first 6 pages of the instruction has the story of the endurance. It has like the journey. It talks about the Elephant Island. Talks about how there were no men left behind. The rediscoverage of the endurance, like what the ship was made out of. Eh. Hi, was I too quiet? But yeah, just Elephant Island, No Man Left Behind, what the ship was made out of, all that stuff is on the first 6 pages of the instruction, which is very cool. It's made of Legos. You could try to find a frame or a couple of frames for the story, just a thought. Yeah, I mean, because it's just literally printed on there. I guess I can rip them out and do a little display that way on there, right below the jackalope, where because I'm gonna move these 2 statues that's behind me and the Godzilla screen as well, and put the endurance there. But again, maybe not, because I have a fucking cat and he might knock it over. And if he knocks it over and I hear it or I see it, I will. That's it. No more cat. Well, no more him. He'll be gone to the shelter. But yeah, I guess effing cat. I know. But yeah, I don't know. Should I? Should I build the record player and we do another Maritime Monday? Yes or no? For tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. Build a record player while watching another Maritime Monday. Yes or no? Aquarium for the ship. We have one yes. Does Tamara speak for the people? Yes, definitely. Yes, yes. Defo. Okay. Well, then, don't care if it's tomorrow or not, but definitely more Maritime Mondays, please. Okay, yeah, I'll have to figure out what to do while Maritime Monday's playing. Cause I don't know, it might be weird if I'm just like have my camera up just so yeah, I'll have to figure something out to do. I'll keep watching as long as you want as long as you want what? I'll keep watching as long as you want to dual stream. Oh, gotcha. Wow. I don't know why I had a hard time reading that. But let me see. Do, 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 do. Oh, come on. Work with me. Work with me. Let's do there. Boop. Oops. I'm going to check something real quick, and then I'll. Oops. Oh, we won't mind just sitting watching them, Connor. Yeah. Oops. Thanks. You could take up knitting. I freaking. I bought. When do you sleep? Anyway, I sleep right after I get home from work for like 3 hours, and then I start this stream. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Let's see. Calendar. Mm-hmm. Never mind. Okay, never mind. Uh, I got the bell set finally. Nice. Woobles are easier. Huh? Oh, okay. But yeah, I got cross stitching stuff. I recently bought a Harry Potter crochet thing. So I guess I could be doing something while watching. Yeah, I just might do that. Yeah, I thought of a poll thing, but after some calculations, I will hold off for a little bit. So yeah, tomorrow I'll do the Lego record player while we watch another Maritime Monday. And then after that, we'll just see how it goes. Everyone's doing Karen Read. I want to send you guys to a place that isn't doing Karen Read. I guess not. Well, I guess Dolly's doing Judge Fleischer. I used to love cross stitching, very relaxing. I've never done it, so this will be my first time. Okay. Redirect is set. I'll be sending you to Dolly Talk because he looks like his is the only one that's not doing Karen Read. So, this is where I say, we will have good videos to help. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me on this endurance build and the previous uh Shackleton lifeboat build. Appreciate you guys for joining in. Tomorrow, same time, we'll do, well, hopefully I wake up on in time tomorrow. We'll do the record player build and watching another Maritime Monday. Let's see what videos next. Uh, D view playlist. So the next Maritime Monday is a maritime disaster, the Edmund Fitzgerald sinking. So we'll watch that as I build the Lego record player. Sounds like fun. But thank you all for joining me on this building stream. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for the super stickers. Thank you for the memberships. I appreciate each and every single one of you beautiful people. And always, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I hope everyone has a beautiful morning, evening, night, wherever you are. On your way out, make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you like the content you see. And if you're already subscribed, please double check you are still subscribed. Hit that bell notification so you get all the notifications if YouTube decides to send you one. It's not always guaranteed. And stay lovely, stay beautiful. I love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye bye.
Well, that's all for this stream, but it's been so sweet. Thanks for hanging with us. It's been a treat. We'll keep it warm, keep it real, take it slow. Catch you next time.
So, State, do you have anything further?
If you enjoyed the ride, give us a like, subscribe for the warmth. Come back whenever you like. Until then, take it easy. Don't rush, don't hurry. I'll be here waiting. No need to worry. Vice, baby, always by your side. Stay cozy, stay calm, let the good times ride. Peace for now, but we'll meet again. Take care, my friend. Until then.